Hey, how's it going, guys? Can you guys hear me? Let me know. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Is the sound okay? Can you guys is it clear? Actually, let me listen to it myself. Hey, how's it going, guys? Can you guys hear me? Let me know. All right, sounds good. I'm testing out the new mic, so yeah, and there's no you can see there's no boom arm anymore or anything like that here, so yeah, hopefully you guys can hear me good and it's crystal clear. So I guess we can start here. Hold on. Let me get water and then we'll All right. Should be good now. Gonna start. I'm gonna cut everything before this. So 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in. This is 13K subscribers AMA. I really appreciate it. If you guys have tuned into my other lives, you know that there's a giveaway that's going on. If you want to find out how to enter, you're gonna have to check some of the lives and see how to enter. But yeah, I figured I would do this one every 500 subscribers. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Thank you for your support. And yeah, I guess we'll get started. So the first question is, when do you plan on doing a video on the process of getting OCG stuff from Japan? Been waiting for that one. Well, number one, I have so many videos on the backlog right now that yeah, I have so much stuff in the pipeline that I'm still getting recorded and stuff like that. And then the second thing is that for that video specifically, I have not found a streamlined process that is easy enough that I could recommend it. And that's why I've been holding back. The method that I used earlier, I didn't really enjoy. I didn't really like it. I thought I just didn't feel good sharing it, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to find a way that I think is reliable and then go from there. All right, congrats on 13K. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum yourself, my man. Thank you so much for being a member of the YouTube channel. It goes a long way, honestly. Just got Buster Blader Ultimate from Champion of Black Magic. Thanks for getting into OCG Ultimates. Hey, that's the thing, man. Those OCG Ultis, especially Series 2 and Series 3, unbeatable cards. Unbeatable stuff. So, huge congrats on that. Again, look out for a video. I'm going to be covering that in more detail when the time comes. The Attic CTC, congrats on your 13K. Congrats on your huge PSA subs, man. Go check out this guy's Instagram, man. This guy is bananas. He's crazy, man. Probably bigger collection than me, to be honest with you. Most likely, he has a bigger collection of cards than me. What language is the most interesting or popular for collectors after English? So if it's TCG, it'll probably be European stuff, like German or something like that. But otherwise, it's definitely Japanese. There's nothing that can come close to Japanese. Hey Omar, congrats on 13K. What days do you, Thor Lord, by the way, what's going on, Thor Lord? Thanks for always tuning in. I really appreciate it. What days do you post? So my days for videos is Mondays and Fridays. I missed this Monday because there was some issue with the video, but for the most part, you can look forward to videos Mondays and Fridays. And then if we're lucky, I'll have some time that I can go live on the Wednesday. And that will probably be one of, that's probably going to be my schedule moving on until, if I'm able to kind of really monetize the channel really well, I'll be able to bring on more editors and expand basically the project. But right now, I'm just sinking money into this, hoping that it does take off. Hey Omar, congrats on 13K. Thoughts on the MTG 30th anniversary fiasco? Okay, so first of all, the 30th anniversary fiasco, if you guys don't know, it is basically a product, a 4-pack product that MTG is selling, that Wizards of the Coast is selling to collectors of Yu-Gi-Oh! Of Magic the Gathering. That it's basically like a proxy card, except it's official proxy card. So you can't use it. It's not tournament legal, but it's very similar to like the UDE Seal of Orichalcos. It's a video on that coming up as well. It's very similar to those cards that are kind of counterfeit, but you know, it's actually licensed, like it's official, if that makes sense. What's it called? So my thoughts on that is, I mean, if you follow MTG at all, you've probably seen it coming, right? Like Hasbro has been, like the thing is that when a company goes corporate and it becomes this massive behemoth such as Hasbro, expectations are a lot higher when it comes to like the board. The board will want a lot more revenue. They'll want, I mean, they even said it. I remember seeing an article where they were talking about how they were planning to up revenue like 30% or something like that. I mean, once you see something like this, it means that they're not actually card game makers. They are now businessmen, if that makes sense. And that's inevitable, like for the most part. I mean, that's why big companies always crash. Like there's no amount in time in history where a company was too big to fall. Like it's not something that actually can happen without the assistance of government, right? Like the government is the only one that can uphold a massive behemoth corporation without it toppling down. And the reason this happens is because, well, number one, the ladder becomes so big that communication between the lower level and the upper level, it just takes way more time. So I'll give you an example. Something like an API update on the Collector app. Shout out to Collector, by the way. I have a podcast coming up with the creator of the application. So getting feedback on the Collector app is a lot easier. Why? Because you have 5 people, like maybe 10 people working on the project. The feedback goes right away. If you want to change something on eBay, good luck. You know, you have to go through like literally so many steps before you're able to get the approval. And because of this, the bigger they are, the bigger corporation it is, the slower it is. And that's the biggest weakness of big corporations, is that they are extremely slow. So as long as you have kind of a free market going around, big corporations are never able to survive because they always get too big, too slow, they don't innovate fast enough, and they sit on their asses because they feel like they have territory. Like it's inherent in their structure for them to fall. And that's the beautiful thing about like free market capitalism, is that the free market automatically punishes anybody that sits on their ass. I say that all of this to say this. With WotC's corporation being corporatized via Hasbro, what happens is that you lose that quick on your feet aspect. That's the thing I was talking about earlier. You lose that aspect. You start becoming a lot slower. You need to generate money through artificial ways. Now, yes, they're still making new cards, but they are not making cards for the players. They are making cards for the board. By board, I mean like head office, right? They are not making, and I don't mean obviously the board is playing. What's it called? What I mean by the board, as in like they want to make more sales, right? What does that mean? That means that they're gonna abuse the player base to the point where they power creep them to hell and basically destroy the game. And that's very obvious. Like, I mean, as soon as Hasbro acquired MTG, it was like over for them. Like, it's, like you're done. But again, like people think when I say you're done, I mean like it's gonna go away in like 4 or 5 years. You know, when a company survives 20 years, it probably takes around 20 years for it to crash. And then, but it does crash. Like there's no way it survives. It's like, for example, when we're talking about types of currencies, people look at Venezuela and they're like, oh, Venezuela crashed so fast. Because the US dollar didn't crash so fast, this means that the US dollar is okay. Well, no, the US dollar survived for 150 years, 100 years, right? That alone will give it enough inertia to push it another 80 years, regardless of how badly mistreated it is via the government. So I hope that it makes sense. Like the inertia force is extremely strong, and it works even in economics. So yeah, in terms of the Magic MTG, I mean, I kind of knew something like this was coming up. In terms of you know, people buying it, do I think it sold out? Maybe. I don't really know. I'm not one of those people who kind of like tries to just make accusations without any sort of empirical data. But the fact that it sat for 35 minutes, to me, it doesn't seem like Hasbro is gonna be, bro. Like Hasbro is too big, man. Like you guys don't understand. Hasbro is too big to do like this kind of like, oh, it's sold out and play these games. I just don't see that. Like for them, it's like, okay, we made this product next. You know what I mean? Like Konami, people think like Konami is like thinking about, you know, goes from the past to, or bro, as soon as that product is out, Konami's not even concerned with it. Konami's not even concerned with it like 3 months before it's even out. They're already moving on to the next thing. So to me, do I think that they played games with it selling out? I really doubt it. I think that it really did sell out. And 35 minutes is quite a long time. I don't think it's a short amount of time at all, especially when it comes to these like hype products. Like think about Platinum Blue Eyes. That sold out in like what, 30 minutes? Not even 30 minutes. Like probably like I could not even log on. Like I remember me and my boy Jack. Shout out to Jack. Like we were calling each other trying to log on so we can get that Platinum Blue Eyes. I didn't get it, he got it, right? So that, in my opinion, is that is the thing that it's inevitable. It happens in every game. The thing that makes Pokemon really strong right now, the card game, is that the creators, they still have some sort of respect for the collector. And that's why they keep innovating and they create these new like card layouts, card arts and stuff like that. And that's what's keeping Pokemon going really strong. I mean, bro, Pokemon is at its strongest right now. Do I think these cards are going to be like crazy value in the future? I doubt it. I doubt it. I don't do Modern. I think Modern had the accessibility that Vintage did not. Okay? Like, everybody and their mother knows about Modern. Everybody and their mother knows about Pokemon today. You know, people knew it back then. I'm not saying that people didn't know Pokemon back then. Of course they did. But it's not to the same, in my opinion, okay? It's not to the same level that they knew. It's not to the same level that they know it today. Like just the internet access creates a whole different dynamic. So yeah, I mean, that was long-winded. I'm sure I went off way too many tangents, but still. What's your favorite MTG card in your collection? I don't have a single MTG card. I would love to own a Black Lotus though. That would be pretty sick. Just as a bragging right, but I can't afford that. Am I a whale? I'm like a very tiny, tiny, tiny whale. I would consider someone like Sassy Otto a whale. Sassy Otto is a huge whale. One of my favorite cards I have is my Ulti Jinzo. I got signed by Joey. Jinzo looks badass in Ulti. I totally agree. I mean, all those Ultis. I'm telling you, all those Ultis. If you decide to ever put in a binder set together, you will be blown away by how good those cards look. And they hit on pretty much every single important card. I mean, they really didn't miss too many. So that's really good in my opinion. Hey Strictly, just saw BGS 8. LOB first Blue Eyes sell for 5K on eBay. Do you think that was shill bidded? I really don't know. I really don't know. But we're going to be covering that in the Patreon Market Watch tomorrow. So if you're on Patreon, make sure you're tuning in. We're going live and going through all the sales in the past month. Series 2 Ulti has to be my favorite. Love how big the artwork is. Yeah, I think Series 2 Ultimate Rares are probably the epitome. Like, it's probably like the highest level of card quality that we ever got and will ever get in the TCG. In any card game, actually. Like, there is really nothing that can beat like SM51 Blue Eyes. Really not a lot. What do you think of the quality of the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG cards versus the OCG cards? Is the OCG card better? I mean, it's not even close. The OCG is superior by like a long margin. So yeah. Congrats on 13K. You convinced me to spend a lot of money on Yu-Gi-Oh! You should have a podcast with the creator of it. Joke. FTX? Wait, of FT. I don't know what FTX is. But yeah, I'm glad that was my goal. The reason I made the channel is to get everybody else collecting like how I love to collect. When is the collector app going to add BGS grade value? I have no idea. Don't know, don't care. BGS is worthless. I think BGS is so trash, so yeah. Was wondering if the horse level 8 from the graded in the end, and if so, what grade did it get? The Horus level 8 is actually at PSA right now. It didn't get graded yet. Congrats on 13K, thank you. It's sad because it's sold as a celebration when it's a premium product that only some can afford. Yeah, I mean, for me, I think I'm not one of those people who bash prices. For me, if you misprice a product, you're gonna pay for it, right? Like, you have to think all that R&D that they spent, all that R&D that they spent on this product, they're not gonna be able to profit off of it as much as they should have if they mispriced it. Now, did they misprice it? Who knows? The market will tell. If those end up being $500 market value, then yes, they overpriced it by 100%, right? But if it ends up being $2,000, then they underpriced it. Like the Platinum Blue Eyes, right? The one that's like limited to 1,000, that one ended up being undervalued by Konami, right? How did you acquire that Hulk statue? This Hulk statue is like, hold on. This is the holy grail of statue collecting, okay? Like, it's actually unbelievable. Let me show you how big it is, okay? You guys don't understand. Look at this. Look how big this is. It's massive. Look at his hand. His hand next to mine. Okay? It's incredible. No pun intended. I got this from eBay. I got an unbelievable deal. This is a $10,000 statue, okay? Believe it or not. This is $10,000. That's what this goes for. I got it for $1,500 shipped. And it's heavy as fuck. This is like 50 pounds. Like 50-pound statue, okay? Like you cannot lift this very easily. Modern eventually stops being modern at some point. No. Yeah, I mean it does, but I just don't see it. I don't know, man. Like, for me, I think modern is too expensive for what it is. Okay, you have to understand, man. Like the most expensive card back in the day was like $80 for first edition base Charizard in 2002. Some of these cards are coming out on release $800, right? So just understanding that aspect, you should be able to see that how much of a ceiling do these have, right? Like literally base set Charizard, the most iconic card in raw is like $200. How could a card that came out 2 years ago, maybe even not even 2 years ago, literally the set that came out, Silver Tempest, the card be like $200? Like this is where I say it's just too available. How is MTG 30th anniversary product compared with Yu-Gi-Oh 25th Platinum Blue Eyes White Dragon? Same price, but people don't complain about Konami. Well, the Blue Eyes was limited, right? So you knew, okay, they're selling 1,000 of them, or actually 3,000 of them. They're selling 3,000 of them, right? And you know that, what's it called? It's gonna be $1,000 each, so it's gonna be $3 million for them, and they spent what, like $1,000 times 25 for the 1 ounce, basically $25,000. No, $75,000. So basically, they're profiting like what, like $2.925 million, right? With this one, if they made 10,000 of them, we'll never know. And that's why people are able to justify the higher price, right? Like people can pay 10,000 for this because it's limited to 175 copies. There's no more of this than that, right? So when you have that limited supply, it just gives you a little bit more confidence. And that's why people complain. But people did complain, by the way, eh? Like people were bitching and complaining about that Silver Blue Eyes for a long time when it first came out. I mean, I sold mine. I was not about to pay, like, no. It was going for like $5,000 at one point. I'm not about to. I don't think it's worth $5,000. So I sold mine. Like I didn't get one. I ended up buying it aftermarket for like $2,000, and I ended up selling it for $5,000 because I was like, oh, bro, it's not worth $5,000 to me. Did you ever do the glass break? No, I did not. There was not enough people that bought packs. Aside from card material, what do you think is the biggest single thing Konami could do to make modern Yu-Gi-Oh collectible again? It's very hard. I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh had a meteoric rise in 2002. People don't really understand this. Like people don't understand just how big Yu-Gi-Oh was in 2002. And the thing about it is that it mostly came from the TV show. So if they want to do something, they have to be able to either, what they can do is revamp the show and make it look like how they made those Dark Side Dimensions film. If they're able to revamp the anime with that artwork, and please no CG dragons, okay? Everything has to be hand-drawn, okay? If they're able to revamp that anime, the old anime, uncensored, in English, in my opinion, I think they could do something like that in order to revive collecting. because they'll bring a lot of people back in. Um, and another thing that they have to do is for the anime aspect is release a damn DVD set. Like they're completely ignoring the anime. Like there is no DVD set or Blu-ray set for the original Japanese. Like there's not even a 720p version of that. Imagine this. That we only have 480p. Like remaster that shit. People would buy it. I don't know. In my opinion, I think that's something that they can do. Like the highest quality we have is 480p. Like imagine that. They definitely pulled the plug on the 30th anniversary packs. Agree to disagree. Aside from answered that, what's your opinion on Duel Monsters era card value? And also your opinion of TP cards value not moving upwards of your stuff. I think TP is underrated, in my opinion. I think they're underrated. I think PSA graded TP is underrated, especially PSA 9 and 10s. Super, super underrated. You only have Market Watch on Patreon? Yeah, I have a monthly Market Watch on Patreon, the highest tier, where I basically just show you guys my sales, like what I sold and what I purchased. And as well as we go through the last month's sales on eBay, as well as PWCC and Heritage and stuff. Hey Strictly, long-time fan, love what you do. I was just curious on what your thoughts on Lego are. I know it's off topic, but I have a huge Lego collection. I would love to know your thoughts. I know Lego is very collectible. The only one that I know of is like the Millennium Falcon, where I think it's like going for like way over market price. I think Lego is cool. It's just not for me. It's just not for me. I used to play Lego a lot when I was a kid, but I kind of outgrew it, to be honest with you. And with Lego, it's very hard to create memorabilia because they are the memorabilia. You know what I mean? Like there's no... What's really cool about it is that you can have many franchises, but when you have so many different franchises, you can kind of like oversaturate the market, in my opinion. I think that there's just a little too much Lego out there. But I think that they still do a great job with their like distribution. I mean, they're killing it, to be honest with you. What are your thoughts on day trading? Have you tried stocks? No, I don't do stocks. I have one stock that I basically I have something called TFSA, tax-free savings account, and I think you guys have like a Roth IRA or something like that in the US. Yeah, I basically just put Enbridge in that, and it's all Enbridge. I think it's like 60 grand in Enbridge. That's what I have. It's just the highest dividend stock that's kind of safe. I don't do day trading. I don't have, number one, I don't have the time for it, but number two, I don't like assets where you live and die by the number, if that makes sense. Like I tell this to a lot of people, okay? If you sit on the computer, all right, and you check your stocks every day, or you check your crypto. I'm an avid crypto believer, okay? But if you live and die by the number on the screen for crypto, that means you're messing up. You're not doing something right. It means that you're not being productive with your time, okay? Crypto should be a way to safe haven your money. It should not be a way for you to become rich. Crypto does not make you rich. Crypto just maintains your productivity to a higher level. Okay, so when you work, you want to preserve that work, that labor. You want to convert it into an asset, right? If you just live and die by that asset, going up or down, that means you're not being productive enough. It should be, I want to work more so I can make more money and put it into whatever, and then forget about it. And then you look back and you're like, oh shit, I have a pile of BTC, or I have a pile of Ether, or I have a pile of whatever stock that you decide to put your money in. But you should not be, in my opinion, okay, like that's just how I live my life. I just, bro, I have a lot of money in BTC, and I check maybe like once every few months. Like I don't really check. I just buy it and I just put it away. So yeah. if you believe in the asset, obviously, right? Like you have to believe in the asset. You have to understand what it's for. What is do you have a strong understanding of who's behind it, what it's about, what it's doing? And then after that, you kind of just, you go with the flow. And that's why, for example, I don't do modern Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Like modern Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm dependent on Konami not reprinting it, right? Like what if they reissue a set, right? Like I don't know how Pokemon people do it. Like you put your money in, for example, Evolving Skies, they can reprint that anytime. You're putting your money into an asset that is kind of, I don't know, it's not dependable. That's why I bet on the nostalgia of Yu-Gi-Oh! And my money is on the nostalgia of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's not really on Konami themselves. I'm not interested in Konami. I'm interested in the nostalgia aspect. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't trust Konami. I don't trust any of these big corporations. I'm a conspiracy theorist in that way, and I couldn't care for any of them. For me, I kind of like look at the asset. Hey, is this something I would like to own? You know what? I would like to own some BTC. I would like to own the asset that, in my opinion, is a digital gold. Boom, buy some. Do I like the way that gold looks? Do I like the way that it can hold value? Boom, bought it. Do I like guns? Boom, bought it. Bullets? Boom, bought it. You know what I mean? Like these are the types of things that I like to buy, where I think that these are great assets to own. Enbridge, it gives energy to everybody in pretty much Toronto and Ontario. It pays really good dividends. Boom, bought it. I don't really care about I don't really care about like whether it's gonna go up or down. Like it's either that, or I'm just gambling. Like that's what it is. Like realistically, investment is just gambling. Okay, and I don't like to gamble. You convinced me to start collecting again, so I think you are on the right path. Congrats on 13K. You really deserve more subs. I appreciate you, my guy. Thank you very much for your kind words. Did you open Gladiator's Assault box yet? No, I did not. I canceled that. I refunded everybody. Shipping probably was mad money. I don't know what you're talking about. Thinking there will be a breaker in collector's rare coming in the mazes. I don't know what that means. I'm trying to sell a Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend Ultimate Rare PSA 10. I don't know how to price it. There aren't any details. How much would you price it for? I have no idea. I would probably send it to auction if there's no others. Are you a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! God statues? Are you talking about those, like the figures, right? Okay, these are different than the figures, okay? This thing is made of stone, okay? Like it's like literally solid stone, okay? It's not it's not made of PVC or plastic, so it's completely different territory. I wanted to actually review those. A company wanted to send some to me, but shipping was kind of like really crazy high, so it ended up falling. But I would love to review those. But there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of people that are doing that, so it's not really a point in me wasting my time for that. What other hobbies do you have outside of collecting things? I have sports, but my favorite philosophy and my favorite hobby that I spend the most time in is reading philosophy. That's my favorite. How much do you think Konami cares about Yu-Gi-Oh, considering Yu-Gi-Oh is just part of Konami's IPs? I think it's the most important IP Konami has. I think they treasure it more than anything else that they have. Do you run your business from home or have an office? My office, I have a section in my home that's my office. Like this is the studio part right here, so it's like it starts with like the third tour guide, and then it goes, I'll show you actually, and then it goes all the way to here, okay? And then usually I would have my camera here. I would just go shoot top down, and then what's it called? Yeah. And then what's it called? Oops. And then I have like my products over there that I sell. I buy and sell. Sorry, I just don't want it to fall off. Hopefully that's good. What cards are in the posters? That stuff is basically it's basically cards that are like under like $5 grand each. So I just threw them up there because uh because I have nowhere. I mean, I need to put something there. I had the chance to buy Pot of Duality giant card. I really wanted it, but it got kind of crazy with shipping because it was in France. So I don't have anything. But what I'm hoping to get is, so I have a Captain America shield. You guys can see it in my room tour video. What I want to do is put the Captain America shield there, or put the Pot of Duality or a Rescue Rabbit there. Or if I can find a DMG, obviously DMG, put it up there. But in terms of cards, I have like a few Cyber Dragons, PSA 10 Ultimate Rares, Chaos Emperor Dragon, PSA 10, Injection Fairy Lily, PSA 10, a couple of like E-Hero Altis, PSA 10, Jinzo, PSA 10, Morphing Jar, PSA 10, Harpy's Feather Duster, PSA 10. Yeah, stuff like that. At least Yu-Gi-Oh has the first edition stamp. Pokemon doesn't have that, but I guess it just speaks to the man that has. Exactly, yeah. I mean, yeah, Pokemon is a completely different animal than Yu-Gi-Oh, man. Pokemon has really nuanced collectors. Like, I love Pokemon collectors. You'll find people that collect like Yu-Gi-Oh, that collect toys, plushies, freaking sealed boxes. Like, those people, they actually have appreciation for rare sealed Yu-Gi-Oh items. With Yu-Gi-Oh, with Pokemon items, sorry, with Yu-Gi-Oh cats, they don't have that. Like, they don't they're not nuanced like that. What's another nostalgia TCG? I don't have anything other than Yu-Gi-Oh. That's the only thing I played back when I was a kid. So happy to find out you're Canadian. How do you find deals in Canada, or do you resort to buying from the US? I don't remember the last time I bought anything in Canada, bro. I buy everything from the US. I wish I can go to the United States. The United States is my dream. Like, if I had one dream to be able to go to, and like to be able to do, it would be to be able to go to the United States and bring everything with me there and just live there. That would be my my biggest dream. Thoughts on Sam's latest PSA return? There were some fire slaps. Yeah, I graded them for him. He recorded it here. I think the people would love to watch you duel just once for the culture. Yeah, no, not about that life, bro. I get secondhand embarrassment from duelists, bro. Do you have all complete Duel Monster sets in binders? Yeah, I do. I have all of them completed, yeah. Do you collect the Japanese Yu-Gi-Oh sets? I really want to, but they're so damn expensive, and Japanese sellers are scumbags. So, yeah. So that really deters me. How much do those big cards on your range from? These are around 3,000 each. What do you think of Konami's Rescue Rabbit plushies? Are they collectible in your opinion? Bro, those plushies go for $650. People are out of their damn minds, I swear, bro. Like, they are out of their minds. How could they justify $650? Oh, like, nah, man. Nah. Do you like ripping Pokemon packs? Not really, no. I don't rip any packs. I need to say I'm exhausted. Oh. Let me zoom in real quick. Sorry about the close up, but I'm so tired, man. I just came back from Cuba, like literally this morning. The land of communism, bro. SMH. Felt so bad there. I literally could not stay for more than I wanted to be gone after like 2-3 days. I enjoyed the beaches. The beaches are unbelievable. But then after that, I was like done. I was like, get me out of here. I can't stand this. I get so pissed, bro. I get so pissed when I see like communism in any form. Um, what's up, brother? Hey, how's it going, little chaos? Hope all is well. Blessings to you too, man. Can you pull CED in old IC blisters? No, you can't. I think Pokemon is something you can enjoy with their children. People can enjoy with their children. Yu-Gi-Oh isn't like cute enough. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh has a lot of gothic art in it. That's why it has a cultic imagery and stuff like that. You can't really. I agree with you. Who's your favorite in the Discord, and why is it me? Hey, shout out to you, Pikachu. If you guys have not checked out my Discord, the link is in the description. We're having a chat today, actually, comparing Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! So definitely check it out. Where in the U.S. would you like to live at? Texas or Florida? No other ones. Nowhere else. Why do you really want to move from Canada to the U.S.? I just hate Canada. I just hate like the mentality of Canadian people. I just hate, um, I just hate everything about Canada. um, Pokemon also has a set number of monsters people can relate to. Every Yu-Gi-Oh set has like 100 new cards no one knows or are connected. Exactly, yeah. I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh is not made to be collectible. It just became collectible because of the nostalgia behind it. And that's why I say like modern Yu-Gi-Oh is not collectible. You understand? Like Yu-Gi-Oh was never made to be collectible. It was never made to be like some crazy, super expensive card game. Where would you guide a new collector in the hobby? Vintage Duel Monsters, Ghost Shares, Vintage Duel Monsters. That's where the biggest following is by far. It's not even close, to be honest with you. Do you think Yu-Gi-Oh old set posters are collectible? People are willing to spend a lot of money on DCR poster, for example. Um, I answered this on my Patreon. I mean, I don't want to go into too much depth, but I think posters are a little bit overrated. I think that they're nice, but they're not, like $300 nice. Josh Hone said communism doesn't work and capitalism eventually ends up unbalanced. We're truly fucked. Nothing cures unbalanced capitalism other than true capitalism. You understand? Like if you have real capitalism, it will punish anything that is unbalanced. And take that from somebody who's a real business owner. I have never gotten punished more than in a free market. Why not California? Because it's California. That's why. I always thought Canada was lame AF because I watched South Park. Canada is not lame. I just think it is just average. Okay, you'll find that most exceptional people, they end up moving to the States. Canada is very average, so it's home to a lot of average people, and that's not. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Like, average is not bad. Um, Average is just most people, right? And Canada is a home for average people. It basically makes everybody the same. While in the United States, the exceptional are rewarded, and thus it attracts exceptional people. And in my opinion, I consider myself exceptional, and thus I would like to go to the States so that I can be rewarded. Like, I trust myself enough that I will be rewarded for my exceptionalism, and I hate being average. Like, I just can't stand being average myself. You know what I mean? Not in a cocky way. Like, it's just in a way where I'm saying, like, I know what I'm worth. My man hates sales tax. Well, actually, no. I sell most of my stuff to the US, and there's no sales tax because I'm Canadian, right? So I don't charge sales tax. For the longest time, I didn't even sell on eBay to Canadians because I don't want to charge sales tax. You understand? So, yeah, like, I would not even sell to Canadians. I had, like, basically no Canadian sales. And then eBay started forcing me to charge tax. So then I basically just opened it up to people who want to pay. But yeah, I don't. It's like it's actually an advantage because I live in Canada. Like, 99% of my sales are to the United States, and I don't charge sales tax on all of them, which is in my core moral beliefs, if that makes sense. A Beast of Tall War PSA 9 first ed sold for $27 at auction. Yeah, that's highway robbery. I think that's where they'll end up, though. I think all these non-popular ultra rares, they'll end up around $20 to $35, and that's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. That's a first edition card right there. You don't like Canada because of Trudeau? No, I don't like Canada because of how big the government is here. I can't stand the government. Whether it's Trudeau or I don't know who the other ones are. I honestly don't even vote, so I don't even know who the hell's in government. If you had to forfeit PSA 10 DDS or SDK, which one would you pick? I'd rather forfeit SDK PSA 10. I like having 3 DDS. Love your content. Thank you, my man. I appreciate it. Yeah, stay tuned. I have, like, a lot of videos. Actually, in the members area, I'm gonna be posting a list of videos that I want to do, and I'm gonna have you guys vote on which ones I should record first so that you get those first. Are you going to reslab anything now that PSA labels contain errors? I don't. No, I don't. I don't even, like. I have not bought a PSA card in, like, so long. I don't really care for PSA anymore. I've kind of just going back to. I'm kind of going back to just raw cards. So yeah, I have not bought a PSA card in a very long time. What's a card you want to see printed as a big card? I would want to see SDK Blue Eyes or DDS Blue Eyes, whatever. What's your opinion on why Dark Magician is less popular than Blue Eyes? When Dark Magician was Yugi's main card, the main character. So I think it's because, number one, Dark Magician has well, for me, I actually don't like Blue Eyes more than Dark Magician. I think they're both really nice. I like SDY Dark Magician a lot. Like, a lot. I think that's one of the most beautiful cards in the game. And I like BPT, Dark Magician too. But as to why, I mean, it's a dragon, right? Like you can't be a dragon when you have a dragon on in anything. Like it's always number one. So yeah, it's why Charizard is number one, right? Good stuff. I must say your channel was by far the most informative. I only found out about TP sets because of you. I also follow your Discord closely. There's great info out there. Thank you so much, Penton. I really appreciate you tuning in. Give us a brief teaser on some upcoming video ideas you have. So I have I have top 5 mistakes or top 10 mistakes that I made as a collector first starting out. By the way, if you're a member, you get at least 24-hour preview ahead of time with the video before it goes live. So if you want to support the channel, you can do that there and get a nice perk. But anyway, and also vote on what video is coming out next. And then I have what's it called? I have mistakes that I made as a collector. I have ultimate misprint guide. Basically, I go over every single misprint that came out in Yu-Gi-Oh, or every single like mass misprint that came out in Yu-Gi-Oh. I also have how UDE and Konami separation affected the card quality. And then I have a Legendary Collection Yugi's World set overview. I have a Hobby League complete set overview. I have Lost Millennium complete set overview. Basically, like I have, as I complete my sets, as I'm able to buy more and more cards, I'm able to create more videos. So yeah, like basically it's a lot of ultimate set guides or complete set overviews. That's what I call them in my video titles. Basically where I go over every single card, show you what's the highlights, what's notable and what is expensive and stuff like that. What's hard to grade, stuff like that. And then I have like a bunch of like other topics. And I have a PSA return coming, like a massive PSA return. Like if you're on Patreon, you know what I'm talking about. I showed you guys the return. It was like, I got like 50% of them as PSA 10s and they're all like super high-end stuff, okay? And then I have another video called What is Tokyo Dome? I have another video that is how to order stuff from Japan. I have how to protect your sealed booster packs and your promo cards, basically like the sealed ones. Yeah, like I have a lot of stuff in the pipeline. It's just like the thing is like I said, YouTube, it pays me $200, literally $200 a month. That's all I get. So patrons, they get priority, right? And they give me around like $300-400. So it comes up to around $500 in total, and I need to live around $2,500, okay, in order to like literally live and put food on the table. So I have to commit my time to the other $2,000. If I get to a point where I earn around $2,000 from YouTube, well, I'll be, or like basically like the support in general, affiliates and all that stuff. If I'm earning around $2,000, I'll be able to commit more time and basically step away from my actual job that allows me to put food on the table. You understand? So it's kind of like a tough balance, and at the moment I have not been able to do like more than this. So it's like, yeah. So if you want to support me, like always, like the videos, share them, comment. Like even if you're saying anything like, hey, love your videos or whatever, when you do these, it pushes me in the algorithm. It allows me to get more of a it allows me to get more attraction and commit more time to the hobby. But anyway, oh yeah, I have another one, how to start collecting, like how to, I have another video that is so incredible, but I don't want to spoil it. It's like so good, dude. Like I don't know. I think it's really good. But yeah, uh, it's about the Dark Magician. Let's see. How long on the binders? So the binders will come out. So they're already in Canada, so they should be delivered within the next 2 weeks, and I'll be able to get them out before the New Year's for you guys. So thank you so much to everybody that pre-ordered, guys. Like honestly, uh, yeah, thank you. Grading is overrated. I agree. What do you think of Yu-Gi-Oh Funko Pops? Are they value anything? I can't stand Funko Pops. I think Funko Pops are the biggest gimmick I've ever seen in my life. Would you get the OTS Cyber Dragon alternate Arm PSA 10 since you have the CRV Cyber Dragon Ultimate Rares? No, I don't collect modern. Favorite card that Joey uses? Well, my favorite card that Joey uses is Baby Dragon, but my favorite card in the TCG that Joey uses is Alligator Swords Dragon from WWP11 or whatever it's called. Viewed as a shark, actually. How you start collecting? Yeah, I have that in the pipeline. I don't like LOB Dark Magician. Never understood why his skin turned Mountain Dew green, bro. Like he looks like a female in that artwork. I I can't stand it either. What are your thoughts on foreign card market, Korean, Japanese, etc.? I like Japanese. I don't like Korean. Not sure if this has been asked, but are you a mechanical watch fan? Do you have a bunch of collections slash favorite brand? Yeah, I am a mechanical watch fan. Um, I like I want to pick up the Grand Seiko Whirlpool. I want to pick up a Daytona Panda, and I'm in the market right now for a date just either Wimbledon or Blue Dial Rolex. When you're gonna drop the PSA return video? So I'm gonna try and drop it for Friday, but I just need to get the prices and the listings up on my website before I do that, so that like when it drops, everybody can go on there and pick up what you need. Really looking forward to the collection maintenance videos. Yeah, I think that's very much needed, and the pack video is badass. Okay, it's really good. Like it's like the perfect product. PSA is a joke now. They're giving out tens on everything. I again, that's why I told you I don't bank on I don't bank on PSA. I don't bank on any of these Fortune 500 companies, bro. Like these companies are yeah. For me, it's I bank on the nostalgia aspects always. Everyone press the like button right now. I appreciate you, my man. Thank you. How to fund a collection would also be an interesting topic. Yeah, I might give some examples actually. Yeah. Dark Magician is the best magician in terms of attack and defense. Don't I mean, thanks, man. Can we still pre-order the binders? Yeah, you'll be able to pre-order until I start shipping them out, and then once I start shipping them out, I have to raise the price because the pre-order bonus is gonna be gone. Nice, seems ahead of schedule. Wasn't expecting those binders until February or March. I appreciate it, Crispy. Gonna get yours like first. You guys are gonna get them first. Funko Pops look so dumb. I agree with you. They actually look trash. But did you watch Sklo's video a month or two ago? He barely got any tens. Yeah. You kind of collect Starlights though. I haven't started yet, actually. I haven't started. I only have like two cards, but that's not really a part. I don't really consider that collecting. Like, I mean, two cards is like is like peanuts. What do you think of the Addy 2000 Blue Eyes shoes? I mean, I would never wear that shit, so they're okay. Thoughts on TSHD prices going up? Are they going up? Which is your favorite Marvel hero? Captain America. My favorite card Joey used was Time Wizard, Baby Dragon, and Thousand Dragon. I love Thousand Dragon. Bro, Joey's cards have really nice artwork. I really wish we got like a USA release of Alligator Swords and Alligator Swords Baby Dragon, or whatever it's called. I feel like if you use PSA's $18 surface rather than pay full price, they put trainee graders on cards to bang out these mass orders and they get told / limited on how many tens they give. Yeah, I don't know about that. Glad to see you're doing well, man. Can't wait to see my Horus level 8 altar in your upcoming returns. Oh no, that one is not in that return. That one's still at PSA. Oh, unless I mean that. Yeah, never mind. I misread. What's holding you back from moving to the US? I don't know how. I honestly don't know how. I looked into it. Like, it seems like the visa is kind of tough to acquire. So I'm not sure what I have to do in order to go there. I have to get sponsored or marry some chick there or something. Yeah. I gotta marry some fat chick or something. Those chicks that are desperate for a husband. But my wife would kill me. What's the status with the Magic Formula binders? Is that still in the works? No, that got scrapped. They couldn't do what I wanted, so I just didn't even I didn't even bother. Funko Pops look soulless to me. Those black beady eyes with no life in them. Yeah, I don't like Funkos at all. I always wanted to know your depth on knowledge of how much EUGX was printed and if the older sets were even harder to find in comparison to newer. FET for example and glass. Honestly, I don't really follow European stuff too much, man. Like, I really can't give you any information on this. All I can tell you is that they're rare. They really don't pop up. Yeah. It seems like the rarest though is that middle set where you have like the CRV all the way up to like Cyberdark Impact and then or Strike of Neos, and then after that they just become a lot more abundant. Is there any condition or situation where you would buy modern stuff? The only thing that would convince me to buy modern is basically starlights of older cards, and I need to see them really committing to starlights. So for me, the Exodia was a really nice move, but I will need them to like basically. Sorry, one sec. What I'll need them to do is commit with, I need I need a Dark Magician Girl, I need a Jinzo, I need all these cards. I would start collecting them more. I would be more committed. But right now, I don't want to buy Exodia sets and then, be 55 by the time all the other cards come out. Like, I'm not about that life. That's another thing that's really nice about the OG sets is that you can collect them whenever you have the money, right? And that's what I don't like about modern is that, okay, I have money right now. You don't have any cards for me to collect. And that's kind of what I don't like. We all started with 2 cards. Yeah. Worst Marvel hero is Captain Marvel or Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi was actually pretty. I didn't think it was too bad. I did a occultic breakdown on that film. That film is very esoteric. But what's it called? Captain Marvel was dog shit. Like the Captain Marvel was like, like, it was actually dog shit. And I don't say that lightly, man. But Shang-Chi, I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was bad. I definitely thought things like uh, what's his Thor Ragnarok? No, not Thor Ragnarok. The second one, Dark World. I thought that was trash. Um, yeah, like but I definitely can say Captain Marvel is the shittiest film out of all the Marvel films so far, or at least like first phase. Thoughts on collector rares? Are they sustainable long term? I don't like them. I don't like collector rares. I think they're cool, but nothing special. But they're cheap, so I mean, I don't see them going up, but I can definitely see them staying the same price. Anyways, good luck moving any gems you did get. I can't move any of mine anymore, grails or otherwise, even at lower prices. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, man. Like, I think as time goes on, I think people are not gonna be able to do, you know, like where the card is like $25, it gets a 9, they're suddenly charging 125. Like, no, no, the premium will be on the tens, and even that premium is gonna be a lot lower. Like, what I'm hoping is that the PSA 9s crash so hard that I'm basically buying them so I can crack. That's the whole goal of it. That's what you need. You need to lower the price of your SDK to 1700. um, do you know EUGX collector / historians to fill in some gaps of knowledge? You could even make videos on scarcity and quantity of current GX EU that is known. Okay, well, to be honest with you, GX not including Strike of Neos, like after Strike of Neos, I mean, it's pretty much worthless. Like, in my opinion, okay, like the thing that Strike of Neos have, and earlier, what I mean by that, I mean like Lost Millennium to Strike of Neos. What those sets have is superior, like texturing. Okay, after that, it's very comparable. Like European and North American is not really different for Phantom Darkness or Light of Destruction or any of these sets. So anything past that is pretty much like, you might as well go with North American because you're gonna get better quality cards, right? There's no advantage to buying a European Volcanic Doomfire, all right? Like I actually have a PSA 9, or maybe I sold it, I don't remember. It looks the exact same as a regular North American, so Volcanic Doomfire. So because of that, I don't really care for anything past Strike of Neos. Force of the Breaker, Tactical Evolution, Phantom Darkness, Gladiator's Assault. Like, Gladiator's Assault is actually, in my opinion, even inferior to North American Gladiator's Assault. So, yeah, in terms of scarcity, what you want to look for is, you know, those main sets, Lost Millennium to Strike of Neos. Those are the only collectible European sets out there. I think Duel Monsters European is trash. I think post Strike of Neos European is also trash. But if you want a resource, you can go ask Schlost. I think his Instagram is SCHLOAST or something like that. Schlost. You can what's it called? Ask him. He's more a fan of that. You can also ask Mo. His name is Moh Mohsen, but I don't know like how to say his thing. But what's it called? I'm sure somebody can link him in the comments below. Chat, you can link him. Those guys are the ones that are like avid European collectors. Yeah, Mohmo 98. Yeah, they're avid European collectors. They know a lot more than me. But for me, like, I don't really care about them. So I explained this in my last live. I don't invest in areas where there's geographical advantages for other people when compared to me. I like to have a geographical advantage. And that's why I understand why they collect European, because they're European themselves. They have access to these things. I don't have access. So I'm not even gonna even bother entertaining that. And I'm gonna ignore it. If that makes sense. Um how many LOB Blue Eyes first at PSA 10s are there in the world? Like 95, I think, or something like that. Love and Thunder was trash. Love and Thunder was pretty trash. Yeah, it was pretty garbage. I saw people in the Discord talking about the corrected art Dark Paladin. Any speculation or input if somebody's having a stack of ungraded ones? I think it's highly unlikely now, but it can come up. But I like that card. I think that card is great. So I don't have anything. I still need one for my own complete sets. They ruined Thor. Yeah, they basically what they did with the Marvel film after Endgame was they destroyed any real strong masculine figures. So Robert Downey Jr. gone, Captain America gone. They made Thor fat, and basically the trinity of of masculinity, of strong masculine male figures. They basically destroyed them. And then you had Black Panther, he got turned into a woman. You had Thor, they were teeter-tottering on turning him into a woman. Hulk turned into a woman. Like, there's nothing left. So, yeah, like, I don't know what they're doing, bro. Like, the people who watch Marvel films are mostly men, okay? They're mostly men. So it's like, why are you trying to cater to the female audiences by putting mostly females? You want to put in 1, 2, 3, like percentage wise. Like, let's just say that 20% are female watchers. Okay, if there's 10 heroes, make 2 of them women. Why you gotta make every single one of them a woman and then kill all the other guys? It's like, give me a break. Iron Man is a woman. God damn, man. They completely ruined the MCU, man. I still remember Iron Man 1, this thing right here, where when when I went to see this in theaters and I saw the Mark II being booted up. Oh my goodness. I still get chills when I think about that scene. Like, Iron Man 1 was unbelievable. Um What led you to go full time with your business? Well, I got kicked out from my job because I would not get the vaccine. So that's the main reason. I would have loved to work both because I had spare time. But they were like, if you don't take the vax, you're getting kicked out. So I was like, all right, whatever, kick me out. So I just walked out. But yeah, that's the main reason. It was not kind of out of choice. It was more out of forced. Do you think Air Neos is an overrated card? No, I think it's appropriately rated, if not underrated. Same here. I think collector rares are kind of ugly for the most part. Some look nice, but I'm not a fan of them. I think they're overrated in my opinion. Why do they have to give Captain Marvel short hair in Endgame too? She's not gonna have a he him pronouns. I also wanted to know if you picked up anything on TCG during Black Friday or Cyber Monday. Definitely a lot of gems were there, and I ended up picking up a Spanish Inferno Wing Ultimate Rare for a great price. I was actually in Cuba, and communist Cuba does not allow eBay or Facebook Marketplace or any of the BSTs to be available. So I could not even check. I could not even check what's it called, any type of any type of marketplace. So yeah, I didn't get to see anything, unfortunately. What's up, man? Hope you're doing well. Can't wait for my binder to show up. Better package it well. God knows I gave it a review. Hey, I appreciate you, man. I saw your name on the order thing. Thank you very, very much. It really does mean a lot, man. And yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know also if you got the King drop, by the way. Did you hear about the recent MTG 30th anniversary set? It's rumored WotC sold out estimated 10K packs within 40 minutes, netting around 10 million. I mean, if they sold that, then they're cooking. Okay, they're cooking the collectors, but I don't think they sold that much, to be honest with you. 10K is a lot. 10,000 is a lot. Do you drink coffee? No, I don't. I've never drank coffee in my life. Yo, quick question. How much would you charge shipping for binders to Northern Europe? Do you know the prices? It's around $25 each. I agree with you on quality control of EU GX. Lots of whitening is likely after putting it into a sleeve, but the ones that stay gems, the few should be preserved IMO. Yeah, I mean, what can I say, man? Like, they're nice cards. In my opinion, I think they're nice cards. I do think that they're a little overrated. Like, if you're gonna go for texture, you want rarity, you want everything, go for Asian English. You might as well. Can you drop the Insta of the first guy? Yeah, can someone drop it in the chat, guys? How many LOB? I already answered that. Do you believe that Yu-Gi-Oh collecting will last for the next 100 years? I mean, if we passed away, there will be nobody to have nostalgia for the cards. They don't watch the show. Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm telling you, Yu-Gi-Oh has to reboot the TV show, and they have to make everybody watch it. Like, they have to make such an amazing marketing scheme for everybody to watch it. But, you know, for damn sure, I'm going to show my kid the Yu-Gi-Oh TV show. He's going to watch it regardless of whether he wants to or if he doesn't. But do I think it's going to last 100 years? Absolutely not. It will not last 100 years. Yeah, and they Hulk a beta. Did you see the recent controversy about the extra copies of prize cards? What are your thoughts about them? I'm going to make a video like going into more detail, but yeah, they are extra copies. It's why I don't collect YCS cards. I am only WCS collector. If I am gonna collect prize cards, I don't touch YCS. I don't. Again, I don't collect modern, right? Like, to me, anything post 2011 or 2012, whenever Extreme Victory came out, after that, I don't touch. So I don't like them. I just don't like the way that they look. The last card that I would collect is that Grizzly one. That I think that's a beautiful artwork, and I like how it looks like with the synchro. But other than that, there's no way I'm touching a single YCS card ever. Because number one, the thing is this. I don't like cards in a case. Bro, I don't even like them in a PSA case. You think I'm gonna like them in like a hard ass acrylic case? Like, bro, it's not even a card anymore. You know what I mean? So that's the official one. And then the non-official one is the one that was leaked out of the case. And those are basically like illegitimate prize cards. They're not prize cards. They're just, you know, leaked cards, right? So, so to me, like, either or, it doesn't really, like, I lose here if I collect the real card. Right? If I collect the real card, I'm gonna basically have a chunk of acrylic with a card in there. And then the second one is I'm collecting fake cards. So it's like, to me, I don't like either. I'm not a fan. For me, WCS is the most I will go. And I would love to own Queen of Eternia, Wildcard Cyclone. This is my message to you, man. If you want it, if you want to sell it, please let me know. I will pay top dollar. Or Emperor of Lightning, or any of those like super high-end stuff. Yeah, but those are the ones that I collect. But I'm gonna make a video specifically on every single era of these prize cards. It's all in the pipeline, I promise you. WCS, WCPS, YCS, Tokyo Dome, G3, all these things I'm going to be doing a video on. Yeah, so someone asked WS prize cards versus WCS cards. Yeah, I'm going to do a video on those. Promise. Just picked up some Glass Royal Firestorm Guards and Volcanic Shells for my volcanic deck. My wallet is sad, but I am happy. Congrats, man. Iron Man 1 was groundbreaking. I also have good memories of seeing it in theaters. Yeah, it was unbelievable. Like that film was truly the thing that got me to love Marvel. I absolutely, that one and Captain America Winter Soldier, bro. Like when I left the theater, okay? Captain America Winter Soldier was my first introduction to philosophy, okay? The idea of what is freedom, okay? And I was like, Captain America is the fucking biggest badass I have ever seen in my life, bro. I just wanted to go buy a shield, man. Like the first scene where he jumps out of the plane, you know what I mean? And then he just dives in the water. I was like, bro, like, how did they come up with this? And then he gets on the ship and then he kicks a guy and the guy flies. Like, this is the thing that I really like about the phase 1, 2 of films. Number one, the color gamut, the color, hold on, let me see. Number one, the colors of the films, they looked very lifelike, right? Like it's not like today, you know how where the gradient, it just looks very plasticky, very CGI. With Iron Man 1, like it looks like it was like literally real life. You know what I mean? No gradients, there's no need for all of that. And then Winter Soldier also looks like that. So it looks very grounded. And that's what Captain America Winter Soldier did so well that I think no other film has done. It's like, I don't know, it looked like real life happening, okay? It didn't look like just a CG fest. And I think Marvel lost that a little bit. Like, they lost that real life essence, man. Like, and also they started like going crazy with the special effects. Like I remember, and this is the first time I noticed it. It was in Avengers. If you watch Avengers 1, there's one scene, okay, I promise you guys, go watch it again, where Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor are fighting in the forest. When Iron Man takes off his helmet, because the whole thing is CGI, it is so ugly, bro. Like, I don't understand how they allowed something like that to go. It was so bad. The CG was so bad. Iron Man 1 looked incredible. You know why? Because he had the top suit. Like, literally, the whole top suit was a real suit. Nothing was CGI. After Iron Man 2, when Jon Favreau, the director, left, it became like a CGI mess. Like, there was not a single suit that looks like the Iron Man, the first two Iron Man films. For example, like, you know when Iron Man moves and you hear those the squeaking of the gears, the veen or whatever you don't hear that anymore, right? Like, I don't know, you don't hear the realism anymore. Like, it's not real, it's not realistic. It doesn't feel like it's happening in real life. Go and watch Iron Man 2, the ending scene where they fight against those machines, and just look at the epicness of this, okay? That the epicness of just the choreography is unbelievable, man. We don't get shit like that anymore. Like, it's so upsetting, man. Like, so upsetting. I grew up loving Iron Man and Captain America. I absolutely loved them. But I will never forget when Mark II suited up. I will never ever forget that, where the camera was going around and all the gears were moving on the Iron Man suit. And then the second time is when he went to the terrorist place and he suited up there. Unbelievable scenes. Like truly, my mouth was like literally dropped when I saw that in theaters. Imagine, like I was like 8 no, what was I? In grade 8, I was 13 years old, 12 years old. Like I got to see that. I was like, bro, like this is just badass. I respect your stance on your view for the Vax Top G. I appreciate it. Thanks, man. Why were you in Cuba? I just went on vacation. My wife wanted the break from work, so yeah. Do you go to local card shows? Seems like a good place to pick up cards. I wanted to go to YCS, but it just seems YCS is very player based, and I don't really fit in, and I know where I don't belong. Nah, they didn't sell at all. The 30th anniversary went up for sale again today on accident. What? They went up for sale again? Very interesting. I also wanted to know your thoughts on the 5D sets and future potential 10s that could potentially be graded, and what do you think the true final population of 9 and 10s are? I mean, bro, that's a loaded question. I really don't know. Why don't you think it will last 100 years? You don't see a future generation will carry the mantle? Not if there's not a new TV show. No, I don't think so. You need a new TV show to do this. Our generation is not the only one that can pick it up after this. Favorite aspect of the original Yu-Gi-Oh anime? For me, Kaiba. I think Yugi was, not Yugi the kid, Yami Yugi. I think Yami Yugi was so badass. The crazy thing is, AE is super hard to find for GX. It's literally easier to make profit on eBay Yu-Gi-Oh singles for grading than finding AE. Yeah, but that's what it is, right? Like if you want the real collectors are gonna go after, what's it called? The real like whales, they're gonna want the best of the best, and they're gonna go after the AE copies. I mean, why would you? I don't know, man. Like, there's EU is just very niche. That's just my opinion. And EU is not as rich as the United States. That's the thing. You have to understand that EU has zero money when it comes to, if you compare it to the United States. Like, it has zero. Okay, if you, for example, I'll give you an example. Okay, $1 trillion. Okay, $1 trillion. Do you know how much it can buy? If you go to every single country in Europe, okay, let's just say actually Western Europe, just so that we are being fair. If you go to every single country in Western Europe, grab every single thing off the shelf, okay, put it in your cart and buy it, okay, it would not be $2 trillion. Imagine that, okay? Imagine that. If you buy every single thing on every single shelf in every European country, it would not be $2 trillion. That should tell you that how strong the United States economy is. It's absolutely disgusting. It's disgusting. That's how strong capitalism is, bro. It's like, it literally creates an empire. It's how Rome did it. It's how Babylon did it. It's how the United States did it. All you do is implement free market capitalism, and then you see the thing completely take off. So yeah, the EU market does not exist compared to North America. It's like not even comparable in anything. Watches. Bro, Swiss are the main watchmakers. They barely sell to Swiss people. They mostly sell to Americans. Cars, okay? Germans are the best car makers. They never sell to Germans. They always sell to Americans because Americans have the money. It's incredible. Like, it's truly kind of mind-boggling when you think about just how strong the United States was able to become in the past 100 years, right? Now, obviously, now it's falling off because the government is too big, but what it was, it was truly like Rome in its prime. I know you stated you don't touch YCS prize cards or EUAE alties, but can you touch? Come to Toronto. No, 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 no homo. Do frame cards look better raw or slabbed? They look better raw. That, you know, that collection that Penguins has, that collection is a dream, bro. It's a dream. But that's like sun fading to what's it called? That's like sun fading to the max. That's how you want. If you want your cards to get sun faded, that's what you do. Unless you live in the basement. If you got offered to buy Tyler the Great Warrior as the kid wanted a quick sale, what do you reckon you would pay for it? If I can't sell it, I'll pay nothing for it. If you told me like, here, you can have this for $1,000, but you can't sell it, I'll be like, okay, I don't want it, sorry, because I don't like that card. I think it's kind of cringe, to be honest with you. First Ed Necroface. First Ed Necroface Glass EN Light Play. What do you think it's worth, my guy? By the way, I love your knowledge and content. I don't know, probably like $600, $700. Do you recommend for a collector to chase AST enemy controller from boxes or to single hunt and hope and pray Nearman copy grades for PSA 10? I know they're insanely difficult to get in PSA 10. Always try to buy near mint. I don't think you should open a box. Hi, Strictly Sealed. I remember you saying, I think on Team Samurai's vid, you were working on an Air Neos video. Just wondering if that ever came out or if it's still in the works. It's like way in the back burner, bro. Like there's like 100 people did Air Neos video, so it's like I'll just be chewing up the same food that they did. So maybe I'll put it out if I run out of content. Yo, I saw your video on DDM Dark Magician Girls. How much do you think the ultra rare worth? A guy is selling them to me for like 1K. That's honestly not bad. I sold a light play to MP set of all 9 for $1,200. Yo, congrats on the channel milestone. Thanks, Solemn. I really appreciate you tuning in, man. Thank you very much. My main criticism of the MCU is too much green screen, not enough filming on actual practical sets. Yeah, I mean, that's not only that. I mean, that's not only the MCU, to be honest with you. Most films today, they have a major problem with VFX. I mean, the other day I was like looking into just like the whole VFX thing, and like today, like what directors literally just put everything on a computer screen. That film, they made a film, Jungle Book. That film was literally all green screen. Imagine that. Like, imagine that. Like, it's actually kind of crazy. I don't know. To me, CGI should be something that is used to polish up the imperfect. You know what I mean? The human element, sure. You know, like Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. puts on the suit, right? Obviously there's going to be some lack of light reflectivity. There's going to be some lack of things moving, right? Those are things that you can polish in CG, but once you make the whole suit CG, it kind of loses a lot of its essence, to be honest with you. It doesn't look as real as it does the other way. Sorry about that. I got a phone call. Do you plan on making your binders easier to find on your site? Only was able to find it via search. Um, yeah, I do plan on doing that. Yeah, it's just I want to make it so that it's like only people who are tuning in are able to pre-order, because I don't want to, the day shipping day come and I have to send out like, like 300 binders, right? So, hey Omar, hope you're doing amazing. Any updates on the binders? They will be releasing most likely by the 16th of December, and I'll be providing tracking numbers. Worst comes to worst, like right in the new year, you're gonna have tracking numbers. It just depends on how fast the thieves at customs clear my shit. So yeah. What do you think? Hello from Germany. What do you think about the Spieldu promos like the Charles of the Pharaoh, Jinzo, Book of Moon? I think they're okay. I'm not really a fan of Speed Duel. I don't like when there's like a big ass tramp stamp across the thing. Like the Speed Duel stamp, I'm not really a fan of that. Sorry. 100 years is a long time. It's a long, long ass time, man. I mean, I think Ford just hit 100 years. I mean, Ford is like literally the biggest car manufacturer in the world, or at least in North America. Sorry, yeah, in North America. So, yeah, 100 years is a very long time. You following the World Cup at all? No, I don't watch sports. Do you have a physical store in Canada? No, I don't. Wait, what do you mean the U.S. is falling off? As in, they are slowly, communists are slowly taking over a lot of Congress. The U.S. is not what it used to be. That's what I'll say to you guys. Like the U.S., I do not see it surviving another 100 years. I just don't see it. I think it will destroy itself before it does that. Yeah, I just like it's just the government is just too big. It's not like Canada, okay? It's not like Canada, and it doesn't mean like the U.S. will be like a third world country. I'm just saying it will become like Canada, which is basically dog shit, right? You understand? So that's what I mean by that. Charlie is the GOAT. Yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, other than you, is there any big AE collectors for GX? And is there anyone sitting on a fat stack of GX alties? Yeah, Gorav is. uh, Gorav, like he sits at home and he gets off on AE and European Ultimate Rares. So you can talk to him. He's in the chat right now. Sorry about that. AE over Euro Ultimate Rares? Absolutely, yes, in my opinion. I see eBay offering monthly finance options for some of these high end cards. Also, some sellers on Insta offering payments. Do people really do that? So people do really do that. I don't really recommend you guys do that yourselves. I think that if you can't afford to buy it, don't buy it, okay? But I say that rule for literally everything. Like, bro, if I don't have the money to buy the house cash, I don't buy it. Okay, that's my life rule. So I might be an extremist in that way, but but it is what it is. Just for your own knowledge, for interest, I bought the only known PSA 9 Euro unlimited Air Neos for almost 1K recently. Judge me all you want. Oh, you want to buy another one? Because we just graded another one. So. Correction, 30th anniversary website basically changed from sold out to add to cart, but you couldn't go through the transaction. Oh, I see. Fair enough. There's no PSA 10 EU Unlim Air Neos. Is there even a non-EU Unlim Air Neos? I don't think there is. I'm pretty sure it doesn't exist either. But rather that they are no longer available for purchase, which is a weird statement when celebrating 30th anniversary product. I assume it's BS. I really don't know. Do you ever dream of a collection like Most Critical's one, where he collected every Secret Rare, Ghost Rare, Ultimate Rare, OG, Ultra? But in your case, the cards would be in near mint general condition, of course. Probably not, no. For me, like, I'd rather collect every single card from Duel Monsters to 5Ds, or every single holo from those sets in near mint condition, and collect everything in general. So that's kind of my difference. Moist hasn't shown all of his collection yet. He needs to do a full showcase. Yeah. Not gonna lie, the US fell off hard. Too much forcing people to work minimum wage jobs. Sharp decline in pushing industries. Just look at OCE and Z and Australia are popping and not stagnating in terms of progress. No. Guys, let's not get ahead of ourselves, okay? The only country, okay, that is even close to competitive with the US is Russia and China, all right? And that is because they have total capitalism when it comes to their work, to their economy. They have communism in all the social aspects, which for the most part, I mean, it is harmful, but it doesn't completely destroy your economy. In the US, they have it the opposite way, okay? They have not communism when it comes to like social aspects, but they have communism when it comes to economic aspects. And that is what destroys your country. But let's not get ahead of ourselves and start comparing Australia. Like Australia is like not even like, I'm not even an American, but like Australia is not even close, okay? It's not even close to what the United States offers, all right? Like, just, bro, and New Zealand, you get taxed like 50% of your income. Like, give me a break. Like, New Zealand, you're basically a slave there. Like, come on. The only things that you can buy is your clothing and your food. Pretty much everything else is taken away from you. So it's like, yeah, like I don't want people to think like America is fallen to the level of like the smaller countries, but it's definitely fallen off when compared to something like China. And I believe it fell off around 45 to 50 years ago after they started exporting everything, after they started importing everything, and that's when they lost a lot of their leverage. But I don't fool myself and say America is anything less than like a superpower. I mean, nah. A lot of people that try to compare America to things like you know, any of the European countries, they don't really understand true economics. You know what I mean? You don't truly understand true economics. Like, yeah. Any plans on having Jesse Cotton on the podcast? Maybe, but I just don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to talk about, Tim. About. Uh, it would be dope to see you open packs on your channel. I opened Asian English Enemy of Justice packs. You can go see that on the channel if you want. Um, there was an unlimited Air Neos PSA 10 European on eBay. Pyro, the 1400 to 1500 one you're referring to, was an NA copy. I didn't even know Strike of Neos had the NA, to be honest with you. Where does that even come from? The blisters? Where's the NA come from for Air Neos? Personally, what would you do, SS, to save the Yu-Gi-Oh anime series? The new one is literally trash. Would you just go back and make like an alternate? No, just literally remake the universe. No, remake the whole anime, and like the exact same anime. Get rid of the cringe, and like Kaiba stopping a gun with his card. Get rid of the cringe, and then what's it called? And just basically liven it up a little bit more. Like create new, put it in 1080p, and just make it look like the what's it called? Just make it look like the new films that they make. I mean, those are gorgeous films. They're unbelievable. So that's what I would do. I don't think you need to make anything new. Sure, if you adapt Millennium World. Just Millennium World, that would be crazy. Yes, there are 2 PSA 10 unlimited NA Air Neos. Do you think it's worth that price? Bro, I remember having all Neos Fusions back in the day, and they're all dirt cheap. Wish I didn't sell them to go out with a girl. Did you get the girl though? That's what matters. Let's see. If you're European like me, it isn't that hard. I don't know what you mean. So happy for you, man. You're climbing the subscriber. Hey, thank you, old school expert, man. I appreciate you tuning in, man. You're the best. I would choose to live in New Zealand and Australia over the US any day. You can just get a citizenship in Latin American country, pay their tax, and live in Australia and New Zealand like a Chad. Okay, but then that means that you're not really living, like you're choosing to live there, but you're not actually, what we're talking about is the economic structure, okay? The economic structure of the country, right? You can say things like, I could travel there and live there for 6 months, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, do you want to be embedded in their economic structure? And clearly, with your own answer, you would not want to live there because you're going to get taxed like a slave. You know what I mean? So it's like, clearly you wouldn't want that. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, our French Canadian cards are underappreciated. I have no idea. I think they're appropriately rated. Nah, I love communist Sweden. I buy and invest all my free government money into MTG, Flesh and Blood, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, I mean, we'll see how long that lasts. The US is super unlivable if you're forced to minimum wage jobs, are taxed just as hard as New Zealand, and don't have true benefits to help you survive, much less chase a career. That's why I say the US is attractive to exceptional people. It is not attractive to people who are average. You understand? So what I mean by this is, if you feel like you are, if you believe that you can thrive in a very, very competitive and heated environment, then the US is for you. And that's why I like the US. You know what I mean? That's why I would love to go to the US, because I feel like I can compete. Now, if you feel like you're just an average guy, you're gonna hate the US, because you're gonna feel like, oh, I'm gonna be stuck in an average job, average wage, whatever. You know what I mean? And this is where In my opinion, I think most people are exceptional. It's just that they are held back by their beliefs. I'm really a believer in that. I believe if you people truly focused on their abilities, they are exceptional in anything that they decide to focus on. And because people are all different, there's going to be so many different things focused on, and everything is going to flourish. And that's how the US succeeded to what it is today. You understand? That's how they did it, right? They're like, hey, come here, work. Do what you got to do and work. And people came here, people are dying to come here, bro. You know, in Cuba, I asked a guy, because I was just looking, because like I said, I was there last week. I just saw like how poor the country was. And I asked them, like, how come you guys don't like have like way more seafood? You know what he said to me? He said, the Cuban government doesn't allow people to have fishing boats because those are able to get you out of the country. Can you believe that? People are dying to leave communism, to go to a country that allows you that freedom. Just, hey, try your best, do what you can, and what's it called? See if you succeed. And for me, I like that. You know what I mean? I'm that type of person. I'm the type of person where it's like, I'd rather be put in a very hot, competitive environment because that's where I feel like I flourish. I don't like participation trophies. I don't like these kind of awards that make everybody the same, because, well, not only am I not the same as everybody else, and not only do I think that I can achieve better than anybody else, and I don't think anybody's better than me, I also believe that actually thwarts exceptionalism in general, because it makes everybody lazy. So yeah, because if everybody's participant, everybody gets participation trophy, why would you want to be first? It should be that if you get first, you get the most amount of reward, right? And I don't know. That's kind of my evaluation on life in general, and that's why it fits with the United States, right? People that don't have the confidence to carry themselves in a way where they will excel, they're not going to want to be put in a competitive environment. They don't want that, because they don't feel like they will be able to thrive. And that's where you say things like, you're not going to be able to live on minimum wage. But why would you want to live on minimum wage? That's the whole idea. Why would you want, or why would you consider yourself adequate only for minimum wage? Why would you even allow that thought in your brain? Right? Like, I don't allow myself to even think I'm allowed to go on minimum wage. You know what I mean? No, like I'm not allowed to do that. You understand? Like that's how people have been kind of programmed to diminish themselves on their own doing. Like nobody does it to anybody else other than themselves. They all do it to themselves. I don't know. That's kind of like my whole philosophy, bro. Like I don't allow myself to even think I'm forced in a minimum wage job. I might be in the beginning, but you bet your ass every night I go to sleep, I'm gonna try and get my ass out of there. That should be like literally you concentrate all your mental power on how to get your ass out of that job. That's how it should be. That's what entry jobs are made for. That's what they're made for. You know, when you work at McDonald's, you wipe the tables, your buddy walks in and you feel ashamed that you're wiping his table. That should put fire under your ass to make you want to go and get a better job, study more. You come back late at night, instead of going to sleep or watching TV, you put your ass in the books, you put your nose in the books and you start reading. You know what I mean? And you try to learn so that you improve yourself. Not, oh, I just finished my minimum wage job, I need a break. No, that minimum wage job should be like embarrassing for you. And I'm not bashing minimum wage jobs. I'm just trying to explain to you the idea of that's how you elevate your mindset to push yourself harder. That's what losing is about. That's what losing is about. When you lose, right? When you lose, you feel that embarrassment that makes you want to win. That makes you want to win. That's kind of the whole aspect of competitiveness. I mean, that's something that's like barely existing in our world today, man. Today, like, if you win and you're happy about it, you're bragging or you're cocky about it. No, you're not, bro. I fucking won. Like, give me. That's it. Simple as that. I'm a fucking beast. That's just what it is. uh, you can tell just by looking at the foiling. Stone is too obscure / niche for me to know where NA versus EU came from. Air Neo is probably the only card I'm going to add to the collection from Stone. Plus Russia Solemn. Solemn said, LOL, no. Wait, what did Solemn say? There are only 3 countries, USA, China, India. Everything else is barely a village. I think there's quite a big difference between NA and Euro. Facts, though, on your grind, I work towards getting a better position like I collect you, but do it to invest. I'm hauling ass with 2 jobs. Single trying to build it. Hey Solemn, are you ever gonna go back to making collector / investment video? For real, bro. Solemn, we need you making videos again. To me, you can be exceptional anywhere. There are talented entrepreneurs in Canada too. Sometimes you can be the best in a mediocre country than being average in a competitive country. Yeah, I don't like that. That's a very famous like kind of dilemma when we used to talk about it back in my high school. It's like there's something called conferences in sports where you have quad A conferences, which is like the schools with the highest amount of population, and the highest amount of population usually seed you the most exceptional players, right? So a lot of dudes, they would try to go from quad A schools to triple A schools so that they can stand out. And in my opinion, that's very loser mentality. In my opinion, I think I'm okay being average in a very exceptional country because I'm better than anybody who is exceptional in a mediocre country, because those people, you'll never know if you're the best. You never even know where you rank against the best. You see what I'm saying? But to answer your question, but to answer like to your first statement, I do think that you can be exceptional anywhere. The reason I said that the United States attracts exceptional people is not something inherent in the United States. It's actually inherent in their own country, because their own country thwarts their progress. You know what I mean? Like, I'll give you an example. My wife, she has an uncle, okay? He's a very, very successful entrepreneur. He's a programmer. He created like 2 or 3 companies that were bought by Microsoft. So like you can tell like what kind of money he has, all right? Every time he would try to build the company, the Canadian government would get in his way. So he would have to go to the United States, establish the corporation there, run everything through there, sell it, come back. You know what I mean? So it's not something inherent in the United States. The United States is just land, okay? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's just Canada, the European nation, Australia, all these other countries, they get in your way so much if you are exceptional, because they have to suck the life out of you in order to give it to the mediocre. Or actually, I don't even want to call them mediocre. I want to call them the non-working, or the people who don't work as hard as you, right? And that's what detracts people from living in these countries, and they basically migrate to the United States. It's just the United States just doesn't get in your way. There's no red tape. But now, where I say it's falling off, it is getting in your way more and more and more. More and more, the government is trying to get in your face, trying to create red tape, create hurdles to stop you, basically, from advancing. But yeah, it's not something inherent in Canada. It's just the way that the government is, it gets in your way. So if you're exceptional, like for me, for example, like I'm not calling myself exceptional. I'm just saying, I believe I am, but I'm just saying, like, for the sake of the video, the sake of the conversation, I want to go to the States because I am sick. I am sick of having to deal with customs. Like this, I am so disgusted by the way that our customs works, bro. I had so many packages get opened in the mail. I had so many packages get taxed for no reason. Like, so our tax bracket is $60. If we go over $60, we get taxed the full amount. In America, $800. This is them not getting in your way. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. I'm a very small business. I'm very, very tiny. But even me, okay, they got in the way of literally some guy who like barely makes 6 figures, okay? A very, very small business, and they still get in the way of that. You understand? So it's like they just get in your damn way, and it's fucking annoying. Like, I remember when I wanted to bring in the freaking box protectors, bro. Like, I came up with an idea for these protectors. I wanted to kind of run with it. And these fucking guys at customs, not only do they rip open like half my packages where it comes out like completely, half the shipment comes out smashed, but they held it for like an extra 2 weeks for no reason. Because they don't like the way that the other people described it. Like, fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, this is the kind of shit that pisses me off. Like, get out of people's way. Let them work. Let them innovate. Let them solve people's problems and stop getting in their way. Like, yeah, it just infuriates me, dude. Like, it actually pisses me off how people think that this government is helping them when it's robbing them blind, bro. It's like actually robbing them blind. It's the same analogy as to why would Elon Musk give his wealth to save world hunger with his hard-earned money? He should do whatever he wants with his money. Okay, well, first of all, dude, okay, why do people think Elon Musk is a billionaire in freaking cash? Dude, Elon Musk does not have billions of dollars sitting in his bank account, okay? He has them as stocks. You understand this? You can't just liquidate. He doesn't have, when his net worth is whatever billions of dollars it is, he doesn't have that in cash. Okay, it's not cash. He can't just give it to everybody, and if he sells all his assets, if he sells his Tesla stocks, literally half the people would lose their money. Half the people would lose their ass because they're invested in Tesla. Okay, he doesn't have it like this. It doesn't work like that. That's number one. Number two, okay? So number two, the idea of Elon Musk, like why should he give his wealth away? Okay. Do you know, for me, like, I don't really subscribe to the whole idea of Elon Musk saving the world and all this. I think he's a controlled asset, but let's just say that he is, okay? And let's just say that, you know, Tesla is this amazing company and it's very innovative and whatever, okay? If this guy is so innovative, if he's saving the planet, why the hell would you not want to reward him, man? This guy built a company that allows the planet to be saved. You understand that? When Steve Jobs built the smartphone, he allowed so many people to start online businesses. He allowed so many people to build apps and create revenue. You know how many people he made rich? You know what I mean? You know how many people he made rich? He made them, allow them to have a way to live. He gave them so many jobs when he did that. Why would you tax somebody like that? This person created so much value for the people of the United States or America, whatever the hell they are, okay? Why the hell would you tax somebody like this? He should actually be earning even more because of what he did for people. You understand? Like, he created all these jobs, all these opportunities. Like, I cannot run my business without the iPhone. Why would I want Steve Jobs to get taxed? Like, I literally make my living off of his invention. You know what I mean? Like, this is something that people just can't grasp. It's like like leave the guy alone. Like he literally helped he literally helped civilization out. You know what I mean? It's like the guy who invented the internet, whoever the hell that is, okay? That person should be wealthy for literally the next 50 generations because of how much wealth he created for people, how much connectivity he created for people. Okay, whether it be a person or a group or whoever, I honestly haven't dug into the history of the internet of where it comes from. But whoever created that, that person should never get taxed for the rest of their life because of how much value they created. No amount of money could measure how much value they created for society. Why the hell would you tax them? Why would you punish them for innovating? Like, it makes absolutely zero sense. You should be celebrating this guy and the next guy and motivating other people to do the same shit. Not taxing them, not punishing them for being exceptional. It's like, honestly, literally so backwards, bro. Like, the world is so backwards. I don't know, man. Yeah. I just went off, but yeah. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think I'm incorrect? What do you guys think? Like, it's actually kind of mind-boggling to me. Like, leave those people alone, bro. Leave Britney alone. Leave Steve Jobs alone, bro. Those people deserve literally every single second, every single dollar that they have earned. Like, we literally could not be communicating like this without those people. You know what I mean? The person who invented OBS or whatever, like this streaming thing, like whoever invented this, like we cannot be communicating without them. Why would you want to tax them? Look at how much value they provided. Look at how much accessibility they provided. I can connect with however many people, 40 people online, or however many people are watching. Like, I don't know, man. Like, those people should be celebrated, in my opinion. Just like how if I invented something, I would want to be celebrated. I don't want to be punished. But the thing is that people who want to punish people who are successful are people who don't believe that they can ever become that. They don't truly believe that. Now, for me, do I think I'll be a billionaire? No, I probably won't. Okay, I don't have nearly the work ethic or the genius to be able to do that. But I do think that I will be exceptional. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would want to be rewarded for my exceptionality. I don't want to be punished for that. And thus, because of this, I will not force somebody else to be punished for their exceptionality. But the problem is that most people, they don't truly believe on the inside that they are special people. They think that they are like mediocre to nothing. And it's truly sad. Truly is sad, man. AOC wearing tax the rich dress made me throw up. Who the hell is AOC? I don't know who AOC is, sorry. I think people actually care about how to distribute wealth. It's. Oh wait, what? I think you deleted the comment, or she's the most woke congresswoman ever. I don't know who that is, man. I'm sorry. Alexandria something Cortez. Yeah. And you know why most governors lobby for what's it called? Lobby for like these tax the rich guys, like, because we have that in Canada, bro. Like we have degenerates like that in Canada. There's this Jagmeet or some shit. This guy is so cringe, bro. Like I don't know how anybody can vote for him. Like regardless of how stupidly socialist you can be, how you can buy the cringe that is Jagmeet Singh, it's unbelievable to me. Like it's actually mind-boggling to me. Oh my goodness, bro. Like we have that too. It's like the thing about those guys, and this is so important to understand, guys, okay? You have to understand that government is a business, okay? It is a business whether you want to believe it or not. The politician is the marketer. That's what the politician is, okay? Their job is to convince, their job is to convince you that you need them. Just like how I convince you that you need my product, which is my YouTube videos or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm marketing my product to you guys, just like how politicians market their product, aka their services, to you guys. All right? Why do you think they do that? It's because with every service, okay, they get commission. Okay? For example, you want a certain road built, or you want a certain highway built, or subway system built, or whatever. When they collect tax money for this service, do you think 100% of the proceeds are going to the building of this subway system? If you believe that, okay, then come here, let me sell you some angel dust, all right? It's just, when they go and take these proceeds and then they put them into this, they take at least, okay, let's just say they're not crooks, they take at least 10%. You know why? Because this service they created, okay, they need to live, right? They spent time into this service, providing the service to you, and thus they need to get paid for that. So whatever service that you want, okay, you're paying minimum 10% on top of that. 10% on top, literally minimum, just to have that service provided for you. Imagine that. You have to think of it like that. It's literally a business, okay? They have to sell you that, hey, we can provide these services for you. We can do that for you. Just pay us, okay? The only thing is that a regular business doesn't have the right to put you in a cage if you don't pay for that service. The government has that, or at least the people think that the government has that right. They think that they have the right to, they think they have the right that if you don't pay for this service that you don't want, let's just say military, okay? Let's just say I don't want a military. The only military I will pay for is anything that stays here, okay? I don't mind training a few soldiers, keep them here, no problem. If anybody invades, they fight, no problem. I don't want anybody leaving this country, okay? If anybody leaves, I don't want to pay for it, okay? That's my philosophy. You know what I mean? For me, like, I can handle myself, but I understand if somebody is smaller and they need protection, cool, okay? But protection is non-offensive, right? You can't leave the country to protect yourself. You can't go into war to protect. Okay, that's not how protecting works. This is an offensive force. Protection is a defensive force. So if we have people here, okay, an army that stays here, never leaves unless somebody comes to us, okay, I'm okay paying for that. If they leave, okay, I'm not okay paying for it. The only difference between a regular business that provides something like personal protection, like bodyguards or PI or private investigators, like basically the police business. The only difference between those guys and these guys is that I can fire a bodyguard if he's not doing his job. I can't fire these guys if they don't do their job, because I get put in a cage if I don't pay for it. This is literally the main difference between a regular business and a government. That's it. Simple as that. There's no difference whatsoever when it comes to the way that the business is run. They have CEOs, that's called the president or whatever, you know what I mean? They have regular workers, that's the lower level government workers. It's the exact same business. It's just they work off of commission. They don't do anything. They just provide the services for you. It's like a real estate agent if you think about it. Like they don't actually do anything other than connect you with the other person. Connect yourself. Connect yourself. You don't need to pay these people. But yeah. Anyway, that's kind of that's just another rant that how much for the angel dust? I need it. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi's husband just happens to be the greatest stock trader of all time. Yeah, just coincidence, bro. I know a guy owning a silent doom first at PSA 9. I need from a glass color, but he can't find recent sales. Cards, so we're stuck, and he doesn't sell. What's your estimation on price? You certainly need some level of tax and government. Are you implying that there should be no government? I think there should be no government, yeah. To put it plain, yeah, there should be no government. But we need to define what is government, okay? Because government can be a whole umbrella of things, okay? The mafia is a type of government, believe it or not. Believe it or not, it's a type of government. I'll show you why. They have a Don, okay, that's president, okay? They have henchmen, and then they have the police, which is like those people that knock on doors. You know, they have tributes in the mafia, right? Like they come and knock on your door, they tell you, look, we'll protect you, okay? You just have to pay us this, right? And if you don't protect, and if you don't, and if you don't pay, what does the mafia do if you don't pay the royalties to get protected by the mafia? What do? They go and send their own guys to attack you without you knowing that it's their own guys that were being sent. The only difference between the mafia and the government is that the mafia, people understand that this is wrong. The government, they do the exact same thing. If you don't, for example, if you don't want to comply with the Patriot Act, we just bomb 2 towers. And then we basically scare you into implementing the Patriot Act. It's very simple. It's the exact same like methodology. You know what I mean? It's the exact same methodology. How would you handle public services like roads? Okay, so first of all, there would be something called private roads. We have those existing in the US right now. We have those in Canada right now. We have, for example, we have 2 highways that I'm between 2 highways. There's something called the 404, and then there's something called the 407. Okay, they're parallel to each other. Okay, they're 404, yeah, 407. They're parallel to each other. Okay, those two roads. One is public and one is private. All right. Do you know how do you know how many pebbles I saw, like, just, or cracks in the pavement that I saw on the private road? You know how many cracks I've ever seen? 0. I've never seen a pothole. I've never seen anything like that on the private road. Do you know why? Because people won't pay for it if they don't do their job. Do you know how many cracks and potholes and brrr, every time I drive over the highway I get on whenever I use the 404? Do you know how many potholes I drive over? Pretty much like once a day at least, okay? As a minimum, all right? Now, why is it that these potholes are not repaired or not round or are not, what's it called? Not repaired fast enough? It's because they get paid anyway. The government gets paid anyway, regardless of whether they fix it or not, right? Like the taxes are coming out of your paycheck whether you want to or not, all right? So roads is something, it's just like a regular service, believe it or not, okay? It's just like a hospital. Why is it that Walmart provides the parking spots? You understand that parking spots in front of a mall is owned by Walmart, right? Or they're owned by the mall. That's private property. That's literally a private road, okay? It's privately run. The government doesn't provide parking spots, okay? So this is something that is, I know people have a hard time understanding the concept of that, but yeah. Anyway, so next question is, who owns the private road? The investor. So how is it funded? So if I'm an investor, okay, and I see that, oh shit, a lot of people are, let's just say I'm building the first road ever, okay? I see a lot of people are, destroying their tires and doing whatever, driving on these off-rail tracks, okay, and destroying, and then what's it called? They're like, it's an empty road. So what I'll be like is, all right, I'm gonna go to a bunch of investors and tell them, look, I'm able to create a road here that a lot of people will be able to use. They'll be able to save their tires. They won't waste money. And I estimate that I would have 50,000 people coming. They'll pay $1 every single month, and I would earn $50,000 a month. Okay? That alone will incentivize many investors to pitch in money to build this road. And what you're gonna see is every single road after that, let's just say I'm the only road now, okay? And basically, I'm the only road now, and I have a monopoly, and I decide to raise the prices to something insane, okay? Let's just say I start to raise it to $10 a month, all right? What would happen is this: because every land is private now, there's no public, right? You don't need permission from anybody to build. All I'll do is, as a competitor, I'll say, okay, this guy's charging $10. I can sell this road profitably for $3. I'll just build the damn road right beside it for $3 a month, and people would use mine. He'd be forced to undercut it. It would work exactly like how Yu-Gi-Oh cards work. I know this is something that is kind of, again, hard to wrap your mind around, but it would work exactly like how a Yu-Gi-Oh card works. For example, PSA 9, Sacred Phoenix. If I go buy this card and I grade it and I get PSA 9 and I charge whatever, I don't know, something like $10,000. Somebody's gonna be like, oh wait, I can probably do this for way, way cheaper. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna literally do the exact same service, because again, there's no public, I don't need permission from anybody, right? Everything is a free market, just like Yu-Gi-Oh. I'll take the card, I'll go grade it, and I'll sell it for $300. I'm gonna get the profit. He's not gonna get the profit. He's at a loss now. Nobody will buy his product anymore because he decided to misprice it. So not only will you punish people who misprice, you will actually incentivize people to put the best price possible from the get-go, because they don't want competition to come in. You understand? The reason that I price my cards as low as possible, okay, or at least I look at eBay, I see the lowest price, I put it right under there. The reason I do that is because I want the business. This is the whole competitive aspect of the free market. It's extremely punishing to those who raise prices. It's very punishing. And you can examine it in any market you'd like. Name any market. Any market that is completely free. There's no monitoring, no government intervention, okay? You will see that when you don't have government intervention or any type of monitoring system, okay, what you're gonna see is people, the market will optimize it itself, because if somebody overprices, somebody will come in. Okay, so Kieran said, so many holes in this theory. Please explain. A private interstate highway seems unfeasible. I suppose a company or business could oversee that. Well, number one, okay, it's only the building, right? Because you have to understand that land is private now, right? Because land is private, what you're able to do, first of all, there's no property tax or any of this nonsense, right? No, there's no getting permission from the government, getting like all these licenses and what is it called, like the permits. Okay, you don't need to do any of these things. So what you can do is, sorry, I read a comment. I lost my train of thought. Um, so so Yeah, so first of all, building a road is not unfeasible. I'm telling you that they built literally a massive highway here. Okay, they told you I think around 50, maybe like $5 a ride, maybe $3 a ride. Okay, and people use it all the time. But the problem is that they can't. They imagine. Okay, imagine these guys are competing with a free road. Okay, a free road, and they are still a sustainable business at $3. Imagine how cheap it would be if millions of people use that road instead of just like the couple thousand people that use that. Because there's literally a private road that runs, public road that runs parallel, that's always jammed. You know what I mean? So imagine how cheap the price can be with economy of scale if people just, if both of them were privatized and they were competing. You understand? What if my road is in the middle of NYC? Where do I build my competitor road? No space to build. Okay, so first of all, what would happen is if we are to remove the government, okay, what would happen is we'd have redistribution, not redistribution as in like via the government. Well, first of all, okay, let's just say that somebody built a road. Let's go with your before. I don't want to drive like go on a tangent too much. Let's just say with your scenario, okay. If you raise your price too much, people will opt around to go around it. Okay, like if you truly raise your price to a point where it's like, okay, if I have a first edition Phoenix Enforcer, a Phoenix of Neftis, okay, at the end of the day, if I put this at $1,000 or $100,000, okay, and let's just say that this is the only one in the world, bro, people will buy the unlimited version. People will buy the ultra rare version. Okay, people will be okay not using your damn road, and you're gonna be stuck with a bad investment. And you think people, and this is the problem, you think businessmen are petty. Businessmen are the least petty people there are. They're gonna see that they're not making money off of this road. They're either number one gonna sell it, or they're gonna drop the price. So okay, let's just say that they raise it to 100,000. People will go around. People will literally walk, or they'll choose another way. They'll fly over. They'll find alternatives and force this guy to bring his price down. Okay, so you can't think of it two-dimensionally, bro. You have to think three-dimensionally. Like, people are problem solvers. It's like, it's literally the same thing. It's like, oh, there's only one PSA 10 of this. Can I charge $100,000? Can I charge $100,000? No. People will buy other shit. They'll buy it raw. They'll buy it whatever. They'll find an alternative to get this card without having to pay me the $100,000. You understand? Just because I'm the only one and my road is the only one that can be built here does not mean I can still charge $100,000. It makes sense. I know friends that have sneaker stores. They Google a stock X price and do 20 under it. They sell every time. Think about all the fees and shipping that all. Exactly. Not. I mean, dude. Not only that. Not only that. Okay. Not only that. What's it called? Like even without the shipping, they'll still beat them because they need the money. They need to bring it. The consumer wins when it comes to free markets. When you have the free market, like real free market where nobody's controlling anything, you get wrecked. Like, as a seller, I'm telling you, as a seller myself, bro, like, it's so hard, man. It's so competitive. Bump, member. 2 months. How do you regulate issues like pollution or public safety, like in China or India, where businesses can just dump toxic shit into rivers? Okay, so things like pollution, okay? Number one, okay? Hold on. Okay, so let me I'll answer your question, Brandon, after, but let me address the Mighty J because he said something based on the topic of before, okay? So he said the only time you have the potential to do that level of price manipulation is through patents and intellectual property. Take a look at the new medication that dropped at a 2.6 million price tag. Perfect. Well, that's because who enforces patents and intellectual property? It is not the people that do it, it's government. If you actually look back into the history of government, okay, the way that government was able to actually buy off corporations, because corporations got so optimized that they're like, why the hell do we even need these people anymore? Okay, what you're gonna have what you're gonna have is what they did was the government said, okay, look, what if we did not allow people to be able to copy your product, right? What if we allowed them to do that, or we stopped them from being able to do that? Now the government and now the corporations are like, now we have reason to keep the government around. You understand? What it does is it creates a barrier to entry, right? With total free market, there is no such thing as patents and intellectual property. It does not exist. You cannot own ideas, okay? I discussed this before in my previous lives. You cannot own ideas. The idea of owning an idea is literally ludicrous, okay? Imagine if we were in the past and I just created a fire and I warmed myself up. Imagine another human being seeing how I made the fire and I tell him, no, you can't do that. I invented this. It's bullshit. It's literally bullshit. You can't do that. The idea of owning ideas, okay, is something that is created by governments in order to establish themselves with the corporations. It's the reason that that they bring value to the corporations, because it creates monopolies. Monopolies do not exist in a free market because there's no such thing as owning an idea. You wanna charge what's it called, $2.6 million for this medicine? Cool. I'll take it in the lab and I'll copy it. Or if I'm an employee, I'll just literally copy it myself. Why can't you own an idea? Someone asked. Okay. Well, the question is, how can you prove that you own the idea? Right now, in order to prove that you invented something first, what is it? You have to go pay the government $30,000 in order to get the patent. You understand? It's not actually you having the first idea. It's actually you being able to afford the patent. There's no way to actually prove that you came up with the idea first. There's literally no way, if you think about it. Because think about it like this. Let's just say you built something, all right, and you put it out into mass production and you gave it up to the public, okay? How do you know that if somebody copied it and built another one, how do you know that they built like how do you know that they copied you, okay, and they didn't just take longer to come up with the idea? How do you know that? You can't prove it, and thus it is not actually in reality. You can't prove that you came first. There's literally no way to do it. And this is the cool thing about the free market, is that it constantly keeps entrepreneurs and inventors on their toes, because they cannot be allowed to just go to sleep after they invented something. Now listen, they might have first to market. There's no denying that. If I invent something really cool and I'm able to push like 1 million products before somebody else copies it, I'm first to market. I'm gonna get rewarded for that idea first before anybody copies it. They're gonna need like a couple months to come up with a solution, right? In order to copy it. But in that time, I'm gonna get rewarded. After that, I don't have 50 years patent where nobody can copy me and I'll be rewarded for basically 2 generations worth of money. You understand? And where basically monopolies come from. The idea of patents is completely bullshit. Okay, the idea of owning ideas is bullshit. You don't have the right to just say, oh, I made fire, nobody else is allowed to make fire. You know what I mean? No, I made whatever, like, I don't know, I made this piece of plastic, nobody's allowed to make this piece of plastic anymore. The idea that you can't own an idea is totally nonsense. I made it up, it's mine. You have to prove that you made it up. That's the idea though. Your argument kind of claps the point with being a big cheese and a little cheese. Companies own the government, and your own words, they would be exceptional but take to an extreme. Okay, sorry about that. I got a phone call. My wife is watching and she wanted to weigh in. um, you can't prove your own idea. Someone else could have had that same idea. Exactly. Somebody else could have had that. You can't prove it. You can prove it if there is documentation of you talking about the idea before anyone else. Yes, but that's what I'm saying. Who approves that documentation? The government. You understand? The government is the one that you approve. If I made an idea, okay, and I dated it like, I don't know, November 15th, and you dated an idea November 16th, how do you know that yours is the true date? How do you know mine is the true date? We don't know. There's literally no way to know, and that's why it's bullshit. This is where I say, like, this is where I say kind of like the okay. You documenting anything, be it video, picture, writing, okay, is still hearsay. Because again, you can't prove that I didn't do it first. If you record a video and you say, oh, it's November 16th, I came up with fire. If I come out here and I say, oh, it's November 15th, I created fire, there's literally no way to prove it. There's no way to prove that I recorded it on the 15th. Sure, you can have some digital files and stuff like that, okay, but all of that could be fabricated. All of that, okay? All of that could be digitized. So because of this, okay, because of this, it is something that is not in reality, the idea of owning ideas, okay? Now, Kirby asked a really good question. If you can't own an idea, what would incentivize innovation? Drugs cost billions to develop over tens of years. Shouldn't they be able to profit from that? They do profit from that by being first to market. This is where I tell you, for example, I'll tell you something. I'll give you a perfect example in a microcosm type of way. The sleeves that I make for my booster boxes, okay, I develop them for around $1.50 a piece. Okay, I sell them for around $4.50 after all the fees and stuff. $4 after all the eBay fees and all that junk. Okay, there are people who copied the exact same things that I did. Okay, they did that like literally around 6 months after I made mine. They could have probably copied it earlier. Okay, but they were not sure of the market. They didn't want to invest the money, whatever. Okay. But after they saw that I sold, 2,000 of them, they were like, oh shit, there's actually some money to be had here. And they went and copied it. Okay? If I was a little bitch in a corporation, I would have been like, dude, that was my idea. You can't do this. You can't do this. You can't copy it. I would have had, if I was with the government, I would have been able to stop them from being able to copy it. Now, they are charging a little bit less than me. I think they net around $3. Okay? But theirs are not custom fitted like mine, okay? So for me, I still have a competitive advantage. Like mine is like perfectly fitted for 24 packs. Theirs fits like 24 pack, it fits like duelist. So there's a little bit more wiggle room, okay? Because they were not willing to take the same risk. If somebody else takes the same risk as me and they're willing to accept $3 profit, okay, then that's all. $3 like net, basically $1.50 profit, then that's their prerogative, okay? I can't compete with that. For me, I need that $2.50. I need that in order for it to be profitable, for it to be feasible for me, right? But if I stood there and I said, no, you are not allowed to copy it, I can raise my price to $10 and nobody can do anything about it. But I don't believe in that, right? Like I don't believe in that aspect. I don't believe in the aspect of, nobody can copy me. No, you can copy. If you can do it better, you should be able to do it better. I don't stop you from doing that. You know what I mean? So this is a perfect example where I made like around $6,000-$7,000 with my investment because I was the first one to come up with the idea of making booster box protectors, right? I made around $6,000-$7,000. That's what the idea is worth, right? Like, I mean, it's not like super groundbreaking where I'm gonna earn hundreds of thousands, right? But it gets me like, $6,000-$7,000, and it's a nice idea that floats kind of a few months worth of rent, right? So that idea, I could have probably, if I was first to entry, I could have probably sold them for $10. I swear to you, I could have probably sold them for $10. But for me, because I have strong understanding of economics and I understand that it is immoral to ask somebody to not copy, okay? Because then I'm making claim that ideas are mine when they're not, okay? And believe it or not, ideas are not actually yours, okay? Ideas existed before you even came to be. You just accessed those ideas. Everything that exists in the world today was already invented a long time ago. A long time ago, before human beings even existed. The idea of a computer, the idea of the internet, or anything like that, all of it already existed. Our job was basically to discover it. That was our job. Our role as human beings is to discover what was already invented. Nothing is coming from brand new, okay? Right? So understanding this concept, you understand that, okay, I uncovered this idea, I'm gonna get, what's it called? I'm gonna get the reward in the very beginning, right? And what this does is it incentivizes me now to innovate somewhere else. If I had a monopoly, I would sit there $10 a piece for the rest of my life, no problem. If nobody can copy it. You understand? I hope I'm communicating the ideas. I hope I'm communicating the ideas clearly, guys. You nailed it. It's not about who says it first. It's about who's able to afford the patent first, plain and simple. Bro, you can talk to so many programmers, okay, that get screwed by these big corporations because the big corporations are able to outpay them for the patents. It's crazy. You rely on the government to maintain the patent to put everyone else's concept as secondhand to yours. Exactly. That's exactly what the government did. The government literally convinced the corporations to keep them around using patents and what's it called? Patents and licenses. There was no, this thing was kind of foreign to Americans before the government proposed it. Or just the person who improves the product the most and for most affordable price gets the majority of the market. Exactly. When Apple first came to market, okay, I'm sure they spent millions of dollars trying to create the iPhone touchscreen. And you know what they did? They created a massive monopoly and first to entry in the first few years. 3 years later, somebody else created the Android system and they were able to create, what's it called? And literally Apple lost like majority of its market share within 5 years. Because that place is a free market, right? It's still not 100% free market, but it's more free market than something like medicine or anything else that the government totally controls. The person who owns the idea is the first person who brings it to the public and profits from it. Exactly. The person, you don't actually own the idea, but the first person to gain access to the profits of it is the person who collapses on, who actually does it. Because I can tell you, there's so many people who have so many ideas, bro, but they can't do shit with them because they don't want to work, right? But the person who comes up with the idea and they actually put it to life, what you're gonna see is those people are the ones that are gonna get the profits. But it doesn't last. You have to get up off your ass because somebody else is gonna copy it in a total free market. And that's the beautiful thing about it. You know what I mean? Ford, they wanna make cars for $50,000 and I see that they have like a 60% margin. Cool, I'll make it for 50% margin. No problem, I'll copy the exact same car, bro. Literally, word for word up to literally the logo, and I'll make it for you didn't come up with the Ford logo. You didn't come up with it. How do you prove that? How do you prove that you came up with the Ford logo? You can't. You literally can't. You know what I mean? It's about incentives, because if somebody's incentive is money, they will care more about owning their ideas. If someone just wants non-monetary innovation, that incentivizes sharing your ideas. Well, sure, but I always take a human being for what he is, okay? All of us are susceptible to greed, right? So if we understand that all of us are susceptible to greed, so we treat it as it is, right? If we don't allow anybody to own ideas, if you create something and nobody wants to challenge you in the market, there you go, you have a monopoly. You have a monopoly, cool. Until somebody challenges you. Right? But for me, I always challenge people, bro. Like, for me, if I see somebody doing some shit and I see that I can copy it, I'm on that shit. Like, no, like, white on rice, bro. I'm still not understanding what you're trying to convey. I'm saying, you want zero government, or do you want some government to make sure people don't become whales and hoard the market? No, I'm trying to tell you that the government is useless, okay? The government, I want zero government because I think the government is useless. I see literally zero incentive to have the government. Zero incentive. So yes, I want zero government. And the reason I'm talking about the free market is I believe the free market is a true solution to having no government. The free market will solve any problem way more efficiently than the government will do. Because the free market is basically access to billions of people, the government is only hundreds of thousands of people. And the more people you have, the more optimization you have. It's like literally basic economics. If you put more people into thinking about something, most likely they're going to achieve better than less people thinking about something. This is the whole Nikola Tesla versus Thomas Edison debate / argument. Of course. Of course. That's why nobody heard about Nikola Tesla. Yes. The physics of it did, but the specific blend of materials, circuitry in a computer never existed. Correct. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We're talking about the idea, though. The idea of the internet or the circuits coming together. You did not come up with that. You reached it from the ether, okay, and you brought it into real life because you're a manifestation of the creator. But I don't want to get into that. You are basically a microcosm of the creator, right? Because you're able to grab these ideas from the ether. The ether is every single thing that exists in the world, that existed before us. You're able to reach into that, grab it, and put it into the physical form. You can have some governance only if it does protect the true free market where everyone can sell their products without being a greed ball. Okay, so I want to tackle your argument here. Okay, so let's tackle Castiel's The Bleach Fan. Castiel, the bleach fan. So you can have some governance only if it does protect a true free market where everyone sells their product without being a greed ball. Okay, so I would like you to present to me a situation where the government is necessary, like where you're saying that it prevents the free market. Because the free market means that nobody is governing it. That's what the whole idea of free market, right? Like imagine if I sat as the king of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I said, no, you can't sell this card for this price. You can't sell this card for this price. Free market means you can sell for whatever price you want as long as somebody's willing to buy it, right? So what I'm saying is, I would like you to be able to tell me where you would think that the governance would come into play. Next question, and then I'll come back to you if you don't mind. This conversation reminds me about how Mickey Mouse is no longer owned by Disney or something can be replaced and sold. Could this happen to Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon in the distant future? Absolutely it can. And I think it should. I think it's kind of ridiculous that that Pokemon can sue you, can put you in a cage because you drew the electric mouse. It's kind of crazy. I think a key difference with the government, or rather should be, is that they have the population's interest at heart. Okay, so Kirby, could you tell me one government that actually cares about its people? If you can give me one, we can talk about how they care about it. Give me one scenario where the ruling class actually cared about its people. How do people own ideas in the free market? They don't. You can't own an idea in the free market. Because again, there's no ruling class to tell you that this is your idea. This is what you have to understand. There's no ruling class. Nobody is in charge of anybody else. It's just like Yu-Gi-Oh! You understand? It's just like Yu-Gi-Oh! Think of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Free market, okay? Is anybody allowed to tell you, no, you are not allowed to sell to this guy, you are not allowed to buy from this guy? Bro, even if there is a scammer, okay, and I want to give him my money, nobody's allowed to tell me no. You understand? That's what a free market is. No governance. Nobody is able to tell you, this is your idea, this is your drawing, this is your art print, this is your content, this is whatever, right? Like if somebody makes a video, okay, and I make literally the exact same replication video, all right, I have every right to do it. I have every single right to do it. Now, I don't do it because I know it's not profitable. And that's the key thing, unless I'm able to do it better, obviously, right? But a lot of times I give them a shout out because I know that next time I do a video that's original and they copy it, they'll give me a shout out. And it becomes very symbiotic in that nature. But nobody's forcing me to do anything because, again, there's no government, there's no rulers, no ruling class. I think what you're wanting to say is you want convenience without the cost of being held back, but you do want some reign as to how far you can go. But you want real free market, and that works. No, I want no. I don't want convenience if it means that any sort of my freedom is being restricted. No, I will not give up any sort of freedom for any sort of convenience. That's like what they call the devil deal, right? An unregulated free market will also do a terrible job of distributing wealth. Millions will starve to death if we did what you said. Okay, so could you tell me how that would be possible? How would an unregulated free market not distribute wealth? Could you tell me how that would work exactly? Milk, gas, and electricity has a fixed price and it can be sold by multiple people. Why? You don't want people selling a product, buying out another company, and completely condensing a market because it becomes ridiculous to call it free market. They didn't prove it. Again, you're not thinking about the incentive aspect, okay? You have to understand, okay? If something is very profitable, everybody will do it. You understand? If milking a cow and selling the milk is this super profitable thing, okay, where the guy is making 100x his money, I promise you 100 people will come and milk their own cow and sell the milk. It literally happens in Yu-Gi-Oh, okay? Again, go back to Yu-Gi-Oh because it'll make things very easy to understand, okay? When you have a market, for example, grading this Phoenix Nefties, okay? If the guy is able to milk this Nefties by sending it to PSA, aka milk it, you know, like you milk your cow, this is the cow, he milks it by sending it to PSA, he does labor to send it to PSA, and he profits 100x. 100 people will go in and buy this same card on TCG Player or open it from boxes or whatever, okay? And do the exact same thing. So you can't buy like this guy, okay? If he somehow is able to sell this one card for $100,000, okay? You know, $100,000 wouldn't even be able to buy you every single Flaming Eternity box on the market. Like, it's literally impossible to control the market when it becomes free. It's literally impossible to manipulate it. It's impossible to be able to control it. It's literally impossible because there's so much supply, okay? And the more you buy, the higher the price is going to go. Let's just say he uses that $100,000 and he buys the first 10 boxes of FET that come up, okay? Flaming Eternity, okay? Let's just say he does that. That's already cost him $20,000. When the next batch of boxes come up on the market, do you think they're going to also be $2,000? No, they're going to be more. And they're going to be more and more expensive. It will get to a point where the box is so damn expensive, he's not profitable. At the end of the day, okay, when I make money by milking the cow and getting this money, I'm not trying to get 100,000 of these cards. I'm trying to get other assets. You understand? I'm making money not to buy this. I already have this and I sold it. I'm not trying to get so much of this by wasting every cent of profit that I have that I made off of this $100,000. I'm not trying to go and buy more Phoenix Nefties and empty out my profits because then I end up with nothing. You understand? Like, you have to think from a business perspective. When you go and you create all this profit, you want to cash it in somewhere. You don't want to go put it back by buying 100,000 Phoenix Nefties. You understand? Like, it's... I don't know. I don't know if you guys, it's because you guys don't run businesses or what. Like, when I go and sell a card, I don't go buy 100,000 of it to corner the market because then I'm wasting all my profit. I didn't make any profit. I'm literally stuck with more cards. So if I go and milk a cow and I get some milk and I go sell it, I'm not going to go and get more milk. I'm not going to just buy out all the cows, right? Because people will not buy my product. I don't even want to take that much risk when I do that, right? Like, if I make $100,000 killing on this milk that I just milked from my cow, do you think I'm going to go buy 100,000 cows and try to upcharge the price to $100,000? Number one, there's going to be 100,000 more milk that I can sell, okay? So this means that I'm not going to be able to charge the same amount of price. And if I don't sell it, it's going to go bad. I have to drop the price. You have to think three-dimensionally. You can't just think two-dimensionally, guys. You have to think from every single angle. As a business, what would you be doing, right? Am I going to go and just buy 100,000 cows and sell 100,000 milk, okay? And let it go to waste because I'm upcharging? Of course not. I'm going to sell it for whatever anybody's want. $2, $3, take it. Just take it off my hands. If I overreach like that, if I overextend. You understand? Is there a way to be just as profitable within a free market as opposed to with government and owning ideas? No. If you are in a free market, there's no such thing as $1 billion company. No such thing. It literally would not exist. $1 million companies would barely exist, bro. $1 million companies would barely exist. You understand? If there was no government, if Apple ever reached $1 million or $10 million, $100 million, bro, there will be hordes of people that sit there, take the iPhone apart, and literally create the same thing from scratch. Hordes of people if there was no government. iPhones would literally become toasters. They literally become toasters if there was no government. The only reason the iPhone is $1,000 right now is because there are people the government stops people from creating more iPhones. Whatever supply there is only from Apple. Nobody else is allowed to make it. So no, there would be literally no such thing as a government, as a $1 billion company. Like it literally would not be able to exist. People would be able to replicate it up the wazoo. And not only that, they'll be able to build it themselves. Imagine if you have an Apple, for example, they charge $1,000 per phone. People will be like, what the fuck? Okay, 10 people will come together. They all pitch $100 each, grab this phone, pick it apart, build their own part by buying the parts from China or whatever, and build their own phone. You understand? That's how the free market works. It's exactly how this works. You want a PSA 9. You look at this, I'm charging $1,000 for this. You're gonna be like, fuck that. You're gonna go and go on TCG Player, get the parts, go to PSA and get your own through a much cheaper method. It's incredible how it works. Like I'm telling you, it's literally what's it called? It's like clockwork, bro. It's the most destructive force to the free market is the most destructive force to monopolies. The most destructive. Like literally nothing destroys monopolies more than the free market. Here in the UK, the government provides benefits. Public transport, policing, healthcare, all things that one might argue are basic necessities. I guess there's a clear contrast between the UK and the US health system. Everyone in the UK has healthcare that is free at a point of use, which I think is great. I accept that a free market is great for luxuries like Yu-Gi-Oh, but I don't think people should be denied healthcare because they cannot afford it. Okay, so this is gonna step on a lot of people's toes, okay? But first of all, okay, if you can't afford something, it does not belong to you. Okay, this is a very hard fact and very truthful statement, and there's no falsehood in what I'm saying. If you can't afford something, it does not belong to you. You don't have a right, just because you exist, to demand something as a necessity for you to exist. And the way you prove this is you turn it into a microcosm. What you do is you have the petri dish, which is the UK or the US or whatever country you want, okay? Shrink it down to an island, all right? Shrink it down to an island. And instead of 100 million people, 10 people, all right? If 10 people, If 10 people are on an island and 8 of them decide to, put together a small hut, build a fire, sit under it when it starts to rain, okay? Do the people who did not, let's just say the worst case scenario, their legs are broken, okay? Legs are broken, arms are broken, they can't move, completely paralyzed. Do those 2 people, okay, on the island have the right to steal or take money, or not money, take resources from the people that are not sick? Do they have, this is the worst case scenario. Never mind people who don't want to work, never mind people who are lazy, never mind any of this. I'm just saying literally the worst case scenario, okay? The most inhumane, call me whatever you want, okay? Do those people on the island, okay? If I decide that if I don't make do with what I have, I have the right to go and forcibly take resources from the other people? Absolutely not. You are not permitted. And if you do that, those people will defend themselves against you. They will not allow you to overreach like this. You can ask them, hey, could I stay in your hut? I wasn't able to build. Once I heal up, I'll be able to, help you build more and whatever. You can do that. You can ask for voluntary permission. But are you allowed to forcibly take from those people because you feel like you deserve it? Absolutely not. Now this can go towards people who don't want to work, or they don't want to, they don't feel like they can achieve a high paying job and whatever, they work minimum wage and they can't afford healthcare, okay? They can't afford healthcare, okay? Do those people have the right, because they sat on the beach and suntanned or whatever, okay? Do those people have the right to demand of the other 8 people on the island to give them their shit because they did not do it, they did not prepare beforehand? Absolutely not. Anybody with common sense will tell you they don't have that right. So how is it that when you expand to a higher number of people, all of a sudden the rules change? If you want to know if a rule is truthful, it applies in every single scenario, regardless of where you are, what time you are, wherever, how many people it is, it doesn't matter. Because truth does not change by the number of people that agree with it. Truth does not change by where you're located or what time you're in, okay? Truth is the truth because it doesn't change, all right? So if you're saying that this rule changed all of a sudden, now because we have 10 million people instead of 10 people, we have a bigger island instead of a smaller island, okay? Now we have the right to coercively steal from people to pay for other people. All of a sudden now you're breaking your own rules, or now you're breaking rules in general. And what you're doing is you use the government, okay, as a mediator, okay, to commit these actions, the theft and the kidnapping and like whatever punishment comes with not paying your taxes, okay? You're using the government to commit this crime against those people. You would never dare to do it yourself. That's the key issue though. You would never do it yourself. You would never go knock on somebody's door and tell them, pay for this or I'm gonna put you in a cage, because they will retaliate against you. And that is how you know that the reality that you believe in is in falsehood, because it can't be applied everywhere else. I can tell you on an island with 10 people or 100 people or 100 million people, okay, you are not allowed to steal from somebody else to feed somebody else unless they want to give it to you. And at that point, it's not stealing, it's voluntary. You can apply that anywhere. You can apply it in the 1500s and 2000s and in the 2000 BC. You cannot steal from people to do this. This is how you know that the rule that, or the standard that I uphold myself to is a lot more consistent and is a lot more in truth than your standard. And that's how you have to understand. Like this is how you have to analyze your beliefs. Are they truly consistent? Are they truly consistent? Because if they are not, the reason math is considered truth is because 1 + 1 is always 2. You put it in the 1500s, minus 2000 BC, or in the 2000s, it's always 1 + 1 = 2. And that's how you know it's consistently honest, consistently truthful. And this is where I say you have to challenge those beliefs that you have, because I understand where they come from. Trust me, like I was there, bro. I was there. Like I was one of those people who believed, oh, everybody had the right to do it. No, they don't have that right. They don't have that right. And you know what's interesting is that I was talking to somebody else. I was talking to somebody else about this, and I was able to connect something very interesting. In the human body, okay, every cell works, okay, in order to keep the body alive. Do you know what cells absorb resources from other cells? And this is the most interesting aspect. This is how you know that the microcosmic world is very reflective of the macrocosmic world. You know what cells take resources from other cells? They're called cancer cells. The human body is literally a reflection of the economy. The humans, regular people who work every single day and provide a living, okay, are the people that are, they're basically regular cells. The people who refuse to work, or whatever reason they have for choosing the government to commit violence against the regular cells by stealing resources from them, they end up growing so big, okay, so big that the human body dies. And if you look at every single socialist and communist country, it was the exact same way. You had one small virus, one small cancerous cell infecting every other one around it, until it became so big that literally the country couldn't sustain and it collapsed. It's very, very interesting the way that the human body reflects the exact same mechanics of the macroeconomics of countries. You cannot allow this insidious mentality that because I exist, I am allowed to take from you. Because I exist, I'm allowed to take from you. This mentality is literally the most destructive mentality in the world. Bar none, there's literally nothing worse than that. There's literally nothing that is worse than this. So first of all, that is just on a moral perspective, okay? The fact that we are not in truth able to steal from one another, okay? It doesn't matter if the government enables it or not, okay? Whether the government enables it or not doesn't matter, okay? We are not allowed to steal from each other. We can help each other. I'm sure if you look at the literally, what's his face, that charity website, look at how much money they bring in every single year. Billions of dollars. It's a charity website. It's really famous. I forgot the name. But they bring in billions of dollars. So American people are donating billions even after all the theft that's stolen from them by the government. Even after all of that, look at how much they donate. So you can voluntarily ask, but just because you exist does not mean you have the right to do that. No, you do not. It will never come to be a truth that just because you exist, you're able to steal from others. No. But in an economic sense, no, the free market applies to medicine as well. If you monopolize medicine, what will happen is, number one, prices are going to go crazy high. Number two, okay, the quality of the medicine is going to get really diminished, okay? Because again, once you have monopolies, you have no innovation, okay? And you can just compare it. Look at the medicine for the United States and compare it with the medicine in the UK. There's a reason why everybody in the world leaves their country when it comes to procedure and they go to the United States. Why? Because the United States offers the most amount of innovation when it comes to medicine. Even Canadians, Canadians toot their hats off when it comes to medical care, okay? Like, they literally have a religion called healthcare, okay? And those people, when push comes to shove, they all leave to the States, okay? So they're all shilling themselves, bro. Like, inherently, you have to give up some convenience. There's a reason why there's stoplights, stop signs, slow down areas in close proximity to schools. It protects you and someone else at a cost. No, you do not give up conveniences. I don't agree with stoplights or stop signs. I don't think that you should stop at a red light if the streets are completely empty. No, I don't agree with that. I think that's bullshit. I'm sorry. Bro, there's streets here where people waste their time. Like, for example, right downstairs, okay? There's a street that literally sits for like 3 minutes, okay? Even if the street is empty. The light sits for 3 minutes on red, even if the street is empty. No, you should be able to override that. You should be able to make the conscious decision to override it. In my opinion, I think every light should be a stop sign. Make it a stop sign. You stop. If you don't see anybody, you go. Simple as that. Simple as that. It's so easy. And you don't even need to stop. Like, slow down, see if there's anyone, and then keep going. That's what I do. I mean, do it. Like, it's so... In my opinion, I think red lights are bullshit. And first of all, okay, that's number one. Number two, okay, there would be so much more innovation if we privatized roads, okay? The idea of every single road being 50 miles per hour or 50 kilometers an hour or 60, that's bullshit. Why would one road be the same speed as another road? How does that make any sense? Why is there not variable speed limits? For example, at nighttime, where the streets are empty, why can't I go to 80? Why do I have to stay at 60? When it's crowded, okay, stay at 50. Like, if I'm a private road owner, okay, what I would implement is variable roads, like an electronic speed sign, okay? If the street is empty, if the sensor notices that the streets are empty, okay, turn it up to 100. You can speed, go. Once it starts to crowd up, it turns back down to 50 or 40 or whatever is appropriate. I'm sure the investors will figure it out. I'm sure the entrepreneurs will figure it out. You understand? Like, these things can all be solved via different minds trying to solve the problem. If we have an issue, if we have a high rate of people clashing into each other and whatever, okay, we solve it. Like, we solve it. You don't need to put a standardized rule for the whole world to run by. Bro, in Syria, okay, where I come from, there's not a single stop, there's not a single light, and you don't ever see any accidents there. You never see accidents. There's literally no stop sign. There's no lights, nothing. There's literally circle roads. People literally circle, they leave, they come in. No issues anywhere. But the problem is that if you set stupid rules, people are going to get stupid as well, because they're not going to have any, they don't need to think anymore. You're absolving them of the ability to think. You understand? Like, it's you are a doctor, so maybe I'm biased. I'm glad that I don't need to turn people away who have had life-changing injuries because they might not be able to afford it. Then do it for free, man. Why don't you do it for free? Like, honestly, I'm approaching you as kind of like a level-headed person. I'm not trying to be combative or aggressive in any way. I'm trying to talk to you as somebody who is as genuine as you appear to be. Okay, if you truly believe that this person needs the help, why can't you just do it for free, or do it at no cost, or reduce cost, or do it at whatever it costs you? But you wouldn't do that. You want your profits, right? The thing is that what you want is, I don't want to go too far. Okay, but what about someone who is working and is stuck in a position of life where they can't afford the healthcare? Okay, so the healthcare thing, first of all, okay, healthcare is not some super crazy industry, bro. Okay, this is something that, again, people misconstrued, I think is the word. people misunderstand about healthcare. The only reason healthcare is some prestigious thing right now is because the government is interfering with it. Okay? If you look back, just look at the United States history pre-World War II. Okay? If you look at the United States history pre-World War II, doctors are like plumbers, bro. You call them whenever you want. They need you. It's not you need them. Okay? They need your business. You understand this? This is something that it's because, again, you aren't able to kind of like step out of your where you live, right? This is where I'm talking about with the three-dimensional thinking. You have to be able to step out of where you're living and look from a bird's eye view at the situation. What makes a doctor special? Nothing other than all of the licensing and the 8 years of your life that you have to give up in order to become a doctor. There's nothing. They are just like plumbers, bro. Like, they aren't special. If you got rid of all of the licensing, all the barriers, like in Canada, for example, you have to do 4 years undergrad, okay, of nothingness. Like, it could be literally fucking business. It doesn't matter, okay? And then you qualify for medical school. Like, what kind of bullshit is that? What kind of bullshit is that? What kind of massive barrier are you putting there that is allowing so many doctors to not be able to enter? What if I don't have extra 4 years that I can just piss away studying business or art or any of that bullshit? What if I don't have that? What if I just want to study medicine because I want to help people? I should be able to go study medicine if I want to. There should not be a barrier for it. There should not be any type of barrier to do that. Not only do you have the cost, but 4 years of your life. 4? Imagine that. Imagine that. Like, that's craziness. Okay? So this is, and don't get me started on the whole cult-like aspect of the whole medical system, bro. That place is a cult. The way that it runs is very cult-like. It's just like engineering. You understand? It's just like engineering. Engineering is very cult-like as well. You'll see it, for example, in their identities. Like, engineers have a very hard time if they lose their engineering ring, because that's a part of their core identity, because that's the way that the system is programmed. It's programmed in a way to make these positions look very cult-like. It's just like if you go to a Freemason lodge, they have initiation rituals. The same thing that doctors have. Doctors have an initiation ritual as well. Don't get it twisted. It's just called an examination. You understand? It's some very brutal barrier to entry that doesn't allow you to go in if you're a regular person. You either have to be very rich or exorbitantly smart, where you're able to kind of like scholarship your way through it. Or you have to go into massive amount of debt. You understand? But there's no prestigiousness to doctors. It's an art, just like plumbing is, just like drawing on a piece of paper is. It's just an art. There are artists in medicine. There's way different types of medicine out there that basically became extinct because the government standardized medicine with basically pharmaceutical pills all the time. But medicine is not anything more than just a regular job, okay? And it is available all the time. It was available all the time before the government standardized it. There's a reason why the Communist Manifesto, if you look at literally the commandments of the Communist Manifesto, the first thing they take is education, the second thing they take is medicine, and the third one is they have to take the army. Okay? There's a reason why the Communist Manifesto takes these three. Okay, because you start to control and warp the minds of your people once you control these three. Number one, their self-protection. They don't feel like they can protect themselves anymore. They need somebody to protect them. Medicine, most of medicine can be healed on your own without needing a doctor. I'm not saying that you don't need a doctor. I'm just saying a lot of medicine could be healed without even seeing a doctor. A lot of illnesses. And then number three, education is you get 18 years of free indoctrination on the child, and the people think that they're getting free education. You understand? There's a reason why the Communist Manifesto has these three as its top tenets, Go look it up. Don't listen to me. Go look it up. Okay? Medicine is not something super special. It is not. I'll give you some examples of in the past how they dealt with it. Okay? For example, there is something called like housing doctors. Okay? So what this is for example, you're on a street with a bunch of houses. Okay? And they feel like there's a lot of illnesses going around. What they do is they hire a doctor. They put out an ad for a doctor. The doctor comes and they literally give him a home and he stays there. And he basically heals all of the people on that street. And basically he works there on that street and they get healed for the rest of their life. And they give him a home to live there. Okay? That's literally how they do it back in the day. Another way that they used to do it, for example, is this type of, it's sort of like insurance, but sort of not, where basically you pay a little bit, and if you get sick, the doctor has to treat you for free, okay? And basically you pay for a checkup every single month. The doctor comes to see you, he checks you out, everything like that, and then what's it called? You move on, and if you ever get sick, they get paid for free. They treat you for free. So now the doctor, they're actually incentivized to make sure that you don't get sick because they're gonna lose money. You understand? Now the doctors today, they only get paid when the insurance pays. So they're incentivized to keep you sick. So what I'm trying to say is, if you allow the free market to work, what it will do is it will provide solutions. I just gave you 2 solutions that I read about in the history books, okay? I can't give you all the answers. I'm not the free market like God, okay? All I know is I understand that if you allow people to solve their problems, they will come up with beautiful solutions that no government will ever think of on their own, okay? And not only that, it will be way more efficient and way cheaper as well. So those are 2 solutions. But healthcare is not something that is this crazy thing that was more than 100 years ago. This whole epidemic of healthcare, education is literally just the past 100 years after the government took control of the licensing for medicine. You have a massive barrier to entry. Massive barrier to entry. It's completely monopolized. Whether they like to admit it or not, whether people like to be honest with themselves or not, it's completely monopolized. I have some, do you guys remember Greedy Goblin from the chat from a couple lives ago? The brother that had cancer, okay? You know he had to leave the Netherlands to go to Turkey to get his treatment because they're too incompetent over there to be able to do it? They're too incompetent to be able to give it to him? That guy was a socialist, believe it or not. And after he got sick, he was like, bro, I don't know how I was able to get food like this. I swear, I wish I could show you the text, but it's kind of private. You know what I mean? Imagine that. Imagine somebody who was a socialist until they got sick and then they left. they changed their mind about it. Anyway, let me see what you guys are saying. I completely agree for stop signs, but stop signs and stops close to areas where there's people that are vulnerable, yes, there needs to be safety. Okay, if that thing is needed, what you're gonna see is the private owner, he's going to set that up. And he has every right to do it because it's private, right? The problem that I have is not against stop signs or stoplights or whatever. I have a problem against standardized everything for everything. This is what I have a problem with because it's public. If you have private, what you're gonna see is roads that don't have a lot of people, they're going to be open season, 120, 130, whatever speed people want. You understand? Whatever people agree on, right? And also what you're going to see is this. If this area has a lot of vulnerable people, okay, or this area has a lot of vulnerable people coming into it, and this person, he refuses to put any stop signs or whatever, the people in that area are going to leave and he's going to lose business. You understand? He's going to lose business. Like, it's kind of like mind-boggling to me that you guys don't think that he's going to cater to whatever the market needs. Why do you think hotels provide free Wi-Fi? Why is it that they provide complimentary breakfast? Why? Could you tell me why? Like, why is it that they do that? Is it because they're just out of the goodness of their heart they do that? No, it's because at one point, all of the hotels didn't do complimentary breakfast. They didn't do Wi-Fi. And then one hotel was like, hey, wait a minute. Look, we have margin for free Wi-Fi. It's $50 a month. Fuck it, let's do it. They did it. And then everybody else ran to their business. And then these guys, they had to copy it. One guy did, oh, let's just add in some bagels and cream cheese in the morning, and we'll see how many people we can bring in. All of a sudden, you're gonna see people flock to that burger thing, to the morning breakfast thing. Now every hotel offers it for free. Why is it that they do that? It's not out of the goodness of their heart. It's because they know that that's what the customer wants. So if the customer wants safety on this road because there's a bunch of old people and kids, that's what the guy will want to do, because I want to please my customers. These are the people that are paying for my road. These are the people that are paying to use my shit. Why does YMCA give, what's it called? Like free swimming lessons with their subscription? Why? It's not because they have an abundance of swimming staff. It's not. It's because they know that this is how we compete with the other community centers. You understand? Like, this is how you have to think. It's business mindset. You have to change the way that you think. Why is it that this person is just randomly going to be like, no, I want this street with 2 schools here and there to be 100 miles an hour? Why would he do that? The schools are going to close down. Nobody's going to attend those. He's going to lose customers. He would never do that. It makes no financial sense. It's literally kind of idiotic, to be honest with you, to even think like that. My guy, living in the wealthiest, most complicated society to ever exist, do you honestly think you can make a better system? That's some ego, my guy. My guy, okay? My guy. When people lived under the kings, okay? And people said, oh no, we should not be ruled by a king. Some asshole like you probably came up to them and be like, oh, this guy's living in the wealthiest nation, most complicated society to ever exist. Do you think you can make a better system? That's some ego. That's literally what you sound like when people lived under the king. When people lived under the pharaohs, and then somebody in there thought, oh, there's a better system out there. There's something that's better. Some asshole, douchebag that comes in and just says, oh, you live in the wealthiest, most complicated society to ever exist. Look, they lived under the pharaoh. Do you want to go back to the pharaoh? Like, it's literally what you sound like. Total dumbass. Okay, so I wanna answer ASDFASD. So society has no duty to protect the vulnerable. So first of all, okay, no, I do not think so. I think that we do have a duty to protect the vulnerable, because at one point we will be vulnerable. Okay, we do have a duty to do that, but we don't have a duty to force somebody to protect them. If I want to, like for me, okay, me personally, okay, I personally go out and try to, help the community when I can, when I have time. And I try to give a lot of my wealth, because I I have more wealth than I have time, so I try to give more of my wealth than I have, than what I don't have, and I try to help my community out, okay? But I do that voluntarily. I refuse to allow anybody to come to force me at gunpoint or by threatening me to put me in a cage, okay? To go and pay for somebody else. No, I will pay what I think is necessary, what I believe is good, okay? But I don't force anybody else to do that, right? So no, we do have a duty. At the end of the day, listen, if we don't have a government, okay, and we have a homeless man at the bottom of the street, and me and you are living in an apartment, and there's a homeless man down there. If we don't find a way to help him, because there's no government, there's gonna be a corpse lying right in front of our apartment. Who's gonna fix that? Us? We're gonna have to fix that. Nobody else is gonna clean it. So what we're doing is we're gonna be preventative. Right now, people don't do shit about homeless people. You know why? Because they're like, oh, I already paid my taxes. It's true. I mean, I don't blame them. They get robbed up the ass. Why would they do any more than that? When you get robbed like this, why would you do any more effort? Why would you put in any more effort? You're getting robbed 50% of your wealth. Why the hell would you put even 1 cent more? You understand? And most of it is going to line the pockets of politicians. Don't get it twisted, okay? Like, let's not assume that they're actually doing anything to help anybody. But for the sake of the argument, okay? The reason people don't do anything is because they think the government will take care of it. Oh, why doesn't the government provide housing for these people? Why doesn't the government? I'm saying, let's take accountability ourselves. When you say that society has no duty to protect the vulnerable, you're not protecting the vulnerable. You're giving it to the government. You're saying, hey, you guys protect the vulnerable. You're actually copping out. You're selling out if you think about it. You understand? It's not just survival of the fittest. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying voluntary transactions will always yield better results and less anger and revenge against one another than anything that is done by force or violence, like how the government does it. Because in all reality, that's how the government works. It works via violence. That's it. Doctors don't set the cost of healthcare. If the barrier for entry is lowered, the quality of doctors will decline. All right, well, I disagree with that because I'll tell you something. Apply the same logic to plumbers. Apply the same logic to Yu-Gi-Oh cards, okay? If you lower the barrier to entry, basically everybody can grade with PSA. Are you gonna get less PSA 10s or are you gonna get more PSA 10s? More, regardless. You're gonna get more PSA 10s. There's no way that you can have less PSA 10s. You can have more 9s as well, and 8s and 7s and 6s. I'm not denying that, but you will get more 10s. You'll get more dilution. I don't disagree with that. You're going to get more diluted in terms of like doctors, but you're also going to get more types of medicine. You're going to get more innovation. Like, who is to say that whatever the government ruled as this is the medicine, okay, is the right way to go about it? Who's to say that? Who's to say that whatever the government has chosen as, okay, or whatever the FDA or whatever system that, whatever like government system that you choose, who's to say that they have the right medicine? Like, who's to say that? Like, am I the god of medicine to say that whatever the FDA approves is okay to use? I can show you so many medicines that have been approved later on. Before the FDA approved later on, like maybe 15, 20 years after. How many lives could those drugs could have saved? How many lives? Many, right? Now you can go the other way around and say, okay, but how many times have they prevented? How many lives have they prevented from dying because of bad medicine? And I agree with that. I agree with that. But from a moral standpoint, we still don't have the right to force somebody to not put out what they believe is medicine just because the entity called the FDA did not approve it. what we can do is warn people, hey man, I don't think this is a good medicine. But that's your decision. You are not allowed to say, no, you are not allowed to sell it or you're going to go in a cage. You're not allowed to sell it or I'm going to point a gun at you. You understand? This is what I'm trying to get at. But also, let's just say that there's like epidemic of these like shitty ass doctors that don't do their job well. What you're going to see is there's going to come out a free market of testing for medicine. Okay, so first of all, you're gonna get something like the university system, right? But it's gonna be a free market. It's not gonna be controlled by the government. So what that means is, if this system of approving medicine is not up to par and not up to date every single month of the year, somebody else is gonna take over. It's not like the FDA where you wait 15, 20 years before your medicine gets approved. Literally monthly. It's either approved or not approved. Monthly. You see what I'm saying? What you're going to get is you're going to get more optimized ways of being able to filter out shitty doctors. And then the free market, what would happen is, okay, I'm going to go to a doctor that has this approval, right? And once this approval system, like this university per se, okay, starts dropping the ball, another system will come out. But right now that's not possible because only what accredited systems come out can license people. Accredited means what? It means that you are approved by the government. This is where I say the free market would solve this in a much better way, in a more efficient way, right? Any accredited school does not have to improve as much as a private school, for example. Just look, okay, if you want a perfect example, go look at private school and look at public school. Look at the difference, okay? Look at the quality. So if you're saying that, oh, everybody can become a private school, not everybody can become a public school, okay? Look at the quality of difference. Why is it that private schools provide the best quality? Why? Because if they don't provide it, they're not going to get paid. If this doctor is constantly killing people, okay, nobody's going to go to him. He's going to go bankrupt. Right? So it's like, you have to think about it from every direction, not just, oh, you lower the barrier, now everybody, it's going to get flooded. No, the market will solve this, right? What you're going to see is just like in Yu-Gi-Oh, for example, if you have a bunch of 6s and 7s flooding the market, right? Shitty ass PSA grades, what you're going to see is people are not going to want to buy it anymore. People are not going to buy these 6s and the 7s because there's so many of them. They're only going to buy the 9s and the 10s. And what you're going to see is less and less people are going to be submitting grades that are worth 6s and 7s. Less and less people are going to become doctors that are graded 6 or 7. If they don't feel like they can profit at 6 or 7 skill level, they're not going to get it. You know what I mean? They're not going to even attempt it. So what you're going to see is eventually the market will filter out. It'll get rid of the 6s and the 7s. It'll only keep a standard of 9 and 10. You get what I'm saying? It's really magical the way that it works. It's actually kind of insane. Right? Like today, if the market 2 years ago, you can grade a 6 of this, sell it for $100. You grade a 6 of this, you're not going to be making your money back. Why? Because the market filtered these out. The market doesn't want 6s or 7s anymore. You understand? The market has chosen, no, 6s and 7s. It's just like how the market has recently boycotted BGS. BGS slabs don't really sell. Why? Because people realize that this accreditor is not worth their money. That label is not worth it. People are not buying BGS slabs anymore. If PSA drops the ball, I promise you, people will not buy PSA slabs anymore. It's the same thing with doctors. They are not magical, I promise you, man. They do not fart angel dust. Switching off now, but it was interesting to hear your thoughts. Cheers and grats on 13K. Thank you, man. I respect you, hello Strictly. I'm starting to understand how you think more, and I can agree with it. People will set their rules up on their own without someone pointing and telling you. Exactly. I promise you, there is nothing more empowering than letting people choose. If you give them that power, it is absolutely the most potent way, okay, to get somebody off of their ass and become the best person that they can be. It's the only way. That's why if you actually look at children, right? When you have hard ass parents that don't let you do anything, they don't let you breathe, what happens? That child becomes rebellious. What happens to children where their parents barely even care? Basically, all the responsibilities on the child. What happens? Literally, all of those kids are the ones that get A's, bro. They're the ones that study, they end up doing really well. You know what I mean? That's at my school, at least. My parents were very hard ass on me. I literally was, I was like failing in school because I just didn't want to do it. I felt like my parents would take care of it. You know what I mean? Once you light that fire under somebody's ass and you give them the responsibility on themselves, you say, you take care of it. Nobody else is going to do it for you. You do it. You are responsible for yourself. You are the one that's going to change your life. You are the one that will have to find a doctor to heal you when the time comes. What you're going to see is, number one, they're going to eat better, okay? They're going to drink better. They're going to exercise more. They're going to do everything that they can do in order to prevent to go see a doctor because they know it's going to cost up the wazoo. But if they have free healthcare, they're not going to be incentivized to even care for themselves. That's very like low level comparison, but I'm just trying to like I'm trying to grasp at like every single level of how this can help, and how can this change the mentality inside of people. Hey Tyrell, check out the Grey Hulk right here, man. Check that out. My baby. I have no idea, man. I've been so out of the game. I don't know what 3D printers or anything like that anymore. I'm sorry. Only used for PSA 7s to 9s are cracking. Exactly. Nobody was cracking before. Now we crack because we understand that the quality dropped. Anyway, guys, bro, this was like 4 hours. My throat is done. I try very hard to give you guys as much philosophy as I can because, like I said, in order to free myself, I have to free everybody else around me. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know if you guys have any final questions before we call it a day. I don't mind running by scenarios with you guys. Like if you guys need them to understand, I don't mind doing it. Why were some vids removed from the second channel? What videos? Send me a link, Thor. But yeah, did you go to college by any chance? I dropped out 3 times because I failed 3 times, but then I went back because my parents really wanted me to. I felt like I wasted a lot of money and time, but yeah, I ended up graduating on my 4th try. But I felt like I wasted my time, to be honest with you. I learned more by myself than I did with school. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna call it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Yeah. Peace.